Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Game nights are here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Party people!
It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game. This is Green Bay Game Day, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Alex Strofe and Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin.
Green Bay Game Day week number 1. The new era is upon us of Green Bay Packers football as Jordan Love, the future Hall of Famer, gets under center today in Chicago, Illinois. Actually, say that city for me, Ben Brust.
Chicago,
Illinois. I'm Alex Strofe, live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios here at the 3rd Street Market Hall, downtown Milwaukee. And pleased to be joined by 3 fellas who will be rocking your weekday afternoons beginning tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Kyle Brust and Nortman KBN. It's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and the former NFL punter, Brad Nortman, with me today. Fellas, good to see all 3 of you. The NFL season's here. I'm fired up. I'm really ready to go.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real, right? Like, and we're here, and I'm very excited that you found the 4-screen thing.
Yeah, the quad
TV.
screen. Love
we
it.
got the quad screen, we got the CBS game, we got the Fox game, so we'll have plenty of football here, and we'll be breaking everything down for 3 hours for the game we've literally been waiting for since the moment Aaron Rodgers was traded.
And I'm glad you said that. This feels like one of the longest off seasons in NFL history.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is just, there's been so many twists and turns and narrative changes and moves to where we're looking at a Green Bay Packer team that looks more different than it ever has over the last 30 years. So
my intention is to watch the game at 3:25, right? It started with that. Like, my intention is to play for the Jets. And that's why I was like, when he got traded, we were all looking forward to this. No, we were all looking forward to this because we all knew the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the ultimate truth is Goody and Rodgers hate each other. And there was no way that this marriage was going to move beyond last year. And so it became the Jordan Love era, pretty apparent to all of us, and it was the writing on the wall. He's gone, and I'll be locked in tomorrow to Jets-Bills, but for now we have an awesome week 1, like, history in front of us. Can the Bears stop being owned?
And I will say, too, I feel like we did see the writing on the wall that, you know, as last season unfolded, that this was going to be the last season for Aaron Rodgers. Things were not good in paradise. And it was the most dramatic unfolding of events, right? You've got darkness retreat. You've got Aaron Rodgers not picking up the phone. You got him going on Pat McAfee. But amongst all of that, there was no drama out of Jordan Love.
Oh, no,
Brad,
not at all.
The good news is
Not a squeak.
We can get a hold of Kyle, and if he doesn't answer the phone, he can't say you have to FaceTime me because our group chat is green.
Okay, first and foremost,
Mr. Android.
let me just teach y'all. Let me learn y'all. We gonna stop this now, okay? Because on 101 to 7 the truth, when I did the show, Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Riggs, all she did was talk about Android. Now I'm not gonna be coming here doing this show with y'all where y'all gonna talk
you're
about
gonna be
Android,
pretty quiet then.
I'm gonna teach y'all something real quick. In iPhones, you have the ability to actually send a link and FaceTime any other type of phone. Did y'all know that?
Why would we need to do that? Why would we waste our time on that? You're making the decision to not get an iPhone.
Yeah.
That's on you, bro.
Look at y'all self.
Wouldn't you rather shame than like go the extra mile to
Yes.
FaceTime him?
You know what? Don't worry about it.
1,000,000%.
I don't want to look at your ugly faces anyway. Do not FaceTime me. You're not allowed to FaceTime me at all.
Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust, Alex Strofe with you. It's Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin, 800-990-3776. What you up to? How you getting ready for the Packers opener? We finally will have something real with Jordan Love to react to coming up at 3:25 as the Packers head to Chicago to take on the Bears.
Was it Favre's first pass that he caught?
Yes.
In his career?
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's not Ritter's first pass, but the first play of the ugly Falcons and Carolina Panthers games, Desmond Ritter got it tipped, and then he caught his own pass for -6
Before we
yards.
even get to see the teams, it's already ugly. Like, my goodness, one of these teams could be a playoff team this year.
I pretty confidently can say the Panthers and the Falcons will not.
That NFC South.
I don't know how confident you can be about that.
I guess somebody
Right,
at 7 and 9 or 7 and 10 could make
yeah,
it.
it might be
What was it? It was an 8-9 last year for the NFC South.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel that way about the NFC North a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. Detroit looked nice on Thursday, but the Chiefs missing 2 of their top 3 players in Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. I don't know if I'm all in on the Detroit Lions hype. They looked good. They looked fine. They're an exciting young team. But I think this NFC North could be one of those divisions where it's like, 9-8 gets you in. You're good enough. You're in. And the Packers, look, we don't know a ton about them. And that's what we're going to talk a ton about for the next 3.5 hours.
So that's why I disagree with you about it being open. The one thing that I do know about the Lions, and I'm going to bring this back to the Packers, is what do we know about them? We know their identity. We know Dan Campbell inside his own 20 after last year when they became 8-9, right? They were playing free. They went on 4th down and would just go like fake punt. He didn't stop doing that this year. In week 1 at Arrowhead, their identity did not change. We're entering a new era of Packer football where we're going to be watching the identity be written in front of us. Similar to what I heard Brad say about the Badgers yesterday, right? You didn't know who they were. I didn't know who they were. For the last 10, 20 years, we've known who the Badgers have been. And the same thing for the Packers. The Packers' identity has been Aaron Rodgers. What are they going to try and do today? Is it going to be owning the line of scrimmage and running the football and trying to become more of a two-headed monster? You saw they try and trade for Jonathan Taylor where they're trying to get 3 running backs and just kind of evolve their system. Like, who are the Green Bay Packers going to be moving forward?
Yeah, and obviously they're not in an ideal situation today without Christian Watson, who's supposed to be this number 1 up-and-comer, number 1 receiver, and you're without him, right? So as you build the aforementioned identity, Benny, you're without a guy that's a crucial part of it. He's a crucial part of the fabric that they're trying to weave and create over the course of the season.
There's a hell of a lot of unknowns, but what we do know is he has the ability to make big plays because we saw it on the field.
We saw it. So I don't know. Romeo Dobbs apparently also going to be on a snap count, as it was reported at like 3 a.m. for some reason by Ian Rappaport of NFL Network. So we'll see what this team is, but we talked a little bit about it as we just wrapped up Sunday Karma. You're going to see guys like Tay Wicks and other guys, Malik Heath, right, that you probably shouldn't see. You shouldn't want to see.
People may have just heard of their name for the first time.
Well, Malik Heath, right? Like, he's a really fun story. He had a really fun preseason. I don't want to see him in week 1.
Do fun stories win football games, Brad Nortman?
Not usually. That's usually not quite enough.
Yeah, no, typically not. Typically not. Kyle Wallace, curious on where you're at on all this. Obviously, it's the Jordan Love era, but a lot of questions remain.
Yeah, no, for me, the biggest thing, you guys talk about Malik Heath. I actually like a fun story. I think today might be a great opportunity for Malik Heath to show the fact that he could be a number 3 receiver. Now, honestly, how I feel is it's not good not having Christian Watson because not having that big play threat, that guy that can stretch the field, the guy that might be able to open up some stuff underneath, the guy that can maybe have a safety have to cheat a little bit over for you to maybe help out Luke Musgrave a little bit. It's obviously going to hurt. We have the chips against us as we're going down to Chicago and playing against the Bears. But I believe that the Packers do have an opportunity because of the fact that Matt LaFleur in this offense, and Craig said it on Sunday Karma that, or I should say Jason Wilde said, is that a lot of these players haven't really played against Chicago, but a lot of them have, though. The Packers return a lot of guys on defense. They return a lot of guys on offense. And so that team still has the confidence to say, we're going to go down to Chicago and we're going to handle business as we always handle business. I really expect Aaron Jones to be a strong leader on this offense, and I cannot wait to see this new look defense they're all talking about, how everybody's excited about what they're going to do today. So I'm excited. And it's the Bears. The Bears still suck, okay?
Yeah, I like that energy. We're to keep that energy going. 800-990-3776. Your way into Green Bay Game Day. 800-990-3776. Somebody already taken a swipe at Benny.
What happened?
We're 8 minutes into the program. Kevin in Sheboygan chimes in. Ben, I'm super happy you've got a new show after Scals abandoned you, but tone it down. Let Norty talk about kicking field goals. Nortman, of course, the longtime NFL
When did I talk
punter.
about kicking field goals? I'll rip Anders all day long, but I didn't think we got there
I don't think we got there yet. We'll get there eventually because I'm very concerned.
I figured there would be an Anders segment in here.
There will be at some point because we do have to talk about it. And obviously with Norty here, we do need to get into specialist talk. But I will say this, and I'm curious, I want to gauge where you guys are at in terms of the confidence level. There's so many questions on offense. You're without Christian Watson. The two things you know are Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, both pretty good players. David Bakhtiari should play too, so the line looks deep. They look good. But I have more confidence in the defense heading into week 1 than the offense, which is really scary to say out loud. Because, look, I do think there's a turnaround season coming from Joe Barry. I know Ben and I disagree on that. But I think all this hype, all this talk that we've heard in the offseason about this defense and a different kind of swagger, a different scheme. And look, Joe Barry's got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And when you have this level of investment, 8 first-round picks on that defense, including one like Darnell Savage, who isn't very good, you better hope they can turn it around. I feel good about the front 7. Safety position scares me, but I know more about this defense entering week 1 than I do about the offense.
I'm curious to see how this team comes out in 2 areas. One will be how they start games, because that is something that you can control as a defensive coordinator. You can scheme and game plan to put your guys in the right situation to start. What's going to happen, though? The offense is going to turn around and make adjustments off of that. So is Joe Barry the kind of coach that can not only start a game but finish a game, make the type of adjustments you need to? Those separates, even if you're a good defensive coordinator, that's what makes you great. We just need Joe Barry to at least be good at this point. Just not terrible. So can he even start a game plan to get us in a good situation and then make the adjustments from there?
I think the one thing that I do love is that Joe Barry going into year 3, I believe, as a defensive coordinator, is that he's making adjustments. And we saw last year against Minnesota. We got torn up against Minnesota in the first game. Justin Jefferson went off. But then you transition to that next game, and Jair Alexander was following Justin Jefferson. We saw him adapting. And so then this offseason, him making some adaptations to this defense, I think puts the Packers in a lot better situation. The big thing I am concerned about is the youth on that defensive line, because you're going to have new guys playing, whether it's Brooks, whether it's Wooden, whether it's Slayton, whether it's Wyatt. Those are all guys. Though Wyatt and Slayton aren't new, they're not rookies this year, they still are young players joining in on the defensive line with Kenny Clark.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you talk about, you can even wrap this into the identity conversation. There's a new identity to be set on defense, on offense, across the board. This is about as blank of a canvas of a Packer season as I can remember. So it's on them. It's on the coaches. It's on the players to take that, harness it, and make it their own identity.
It's very rare you have a young team and all the pieces to the puzzle fit perfectly. You saw it a couple of years ago in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow and leading them to a Super Bowl. But that's like the only example I can think of where things worked out perfectly for a really young team. This is going to be a weird season. That's one thing I do know, right? There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be streaks and flashes of greatness, but there's also going to be flashes of, whoa, what the hell was that? And I imagine we'll see some of those today, Benny.
Well, and the best part is it's going to be on all 3 phases, right? You said you're more confident in the defense than the offense, right? Like, for the first time in forever, Keyshawn Nixon did something positive for the Packers special teams. So then you go and sign him. He's on the team. But then you have the biggest you released your punter as well. Like, I know we've talked about Anders Carlson a lot. I'm not even trying to be like talking specialists all day long just because Brad's
Bring it
here.
on, baby.
But
Bring it on.
Am I wrong? They just got rid of their punter 2 weeks before the season started. They have a rookie kicker. So they don't even have one phase of the side of the football where you feel confident heading into the season.
Wait a minute. Okay. There are kickers who are rookies who they perform. Now, Brad, I don't know your stats your rookie year in the NFL. I don't know how good it was or bad it was.
You want to put your name on Anders? Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that obviously Anders has some inconsistencies that we saw in practice. In the game, he did pretty okay in the game. We don't know anything about Daniel Whelan. You can't tell me that you know his stats, his hang time, how far his average punts are. You don't know that yet. So how are we going to sit here and down him? He won the punter competition. Him and Pat O'Donnell obviously were the same. And they said, we're going to go with youth.
Yeah, but that's what they've been doing. That's the story, right? But he won the competition by default. You're over 30 years old. Let me see your birth certificate.
Y'all missing what I'm saying, though. If it was close, that means he wasn't too far behind a veteran. And so they decided to go with
29th in hang time last year. I actually do know that.
Why are we talking about hang time?
Pretty good. They're talking hang time.
There's room for
punter talk to start the season
room
here.
For improvement. I'm just saying, instead of us bashing and not knowing the unknown, let's trust Matt LaFleur. This is his first time as a coach to be able, you guys talk about identity. The Packers were not able to form an identity because they had Aaron Rodgers in the way of doing that.
That's the fault of the head coach to not be man enough to step on him.
Time out. You all have seen that show there on Hard Knocks. Do y'all see how much... But
a lot of ass
that is
going on.
Aaron Rodgers
he
commands that because he is a superstar. And this is Matt's first time.
But you know who Aaron Rodgers respects and calls an alpha? Robert Saleh. And it was a direct shot at Matt LaFleur.
It might have been a direct shot, but listen, I've seen enough from Robert Saleh to know that he's been butt kissing, and when things don't go well, he's going to be snapping on Nathaniel Hackett. Robert Saleh's going to have to say, hey, we're all right, Aaron, we're all right. I guarantee you that's going to be a problem. And so it's great to be able to see Matt LaFleur have somebody who is calm and relaxed. He isn't a superstar yet. And Jordan Love that's going to listen to his coaching. And you have a young receiving core. You have just a team that just seems a little bit more perky and a little bit more happy to have other guys step up and be leaders.
Call me crazy. I would still rather be butt kissing Rodgers than hoping and praying that our team is good.
Yeah, that's fair. The sure thing is always comfortable, and this is a
Bet your
very
breath smell like doo-doo, too.
That may be the case already.
It may be. I'm Alex Strofe alongside KBN, debuting tomorrow afternoon on ESPN
You did a really
Wisconsin,
good kissy
2 to
sound.
5 p.m. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust with you. It's Green Bay Game Day. We got to get into Jordan Love. What are the expectations? What do you want to see from him today?
More specialist, Strofe.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Daniel Wheeler. We'll talk Jordan Love next. It's Green Bay Game Day, getting you ready for Week 1. Packers-Bears coming up at 3:25. Green Bay Game Day continues after this.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The Boucher Group has exciting news to share with you. We've expanded to better serve our community.
Introducing Nissan Lake Country, the newest addition to our family.
Step into our showroom and discover our exceptional selection of brand new Nissans.
We're also stocked with the best pre-owned options in the market.
And as we expand, we're not just growing our inventory, we're also growing our team.
So join a team that values your skills and celebrates your success.
Visit us online or in-store today and view our current job listings at bouchercareers.com.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruber's offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. At GMB, we give back by supporting local nonprofits, such as the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter. Did you know that the local professionals who work at banks are often some of the first people to recognize early signs of Alzheimer's and other dementia in their customers? This can include a customer appearing lost or confused, or showing unusual behaviors with their accounts. At Great Midwest Bank, we take our community responsibilities seriously. We're proud to be a dementia-friendly bank with training from the Waukesha Aging and Disability Resource Center. If we notice potential signs of dementia during a customer visit, we connect with customers and their loved ones. This fall, you can make a difference too. Sign up for the Walk to End Alzheimer's at alz.org/walk. Visit GreatMidwestBank.com to learn more about GMB's commitment to community and our Simply Giving mission.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde. Our family loves when Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles arrives at our home. And now football season has arrived, so try the green and gold Kringle. Traditional pecan Kringle and cheesecake Kringle topped with green and gold sprinkles. A crowd pleaser at any game day party. Order today at Kringle.com or 1-800-4DANISH. Easy to remember. Kringle.com or 1-800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, not just a treat, it's a tradition and the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
If you are among the 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's or care for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, there is free help and support available 24/7. Visit alz.org or call 800-272-3900.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? No, I ain't happy yet, but I'm way less sad.
Green Bay Game Day rolls on. Week number 1, getting you ready for Packers-Bears at 3:25 this afternoon. America's Game of the Week. Is it because of all the questions? I wonder. I'm Alex Strofe alongside KBN.
Packers.
Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, Brad Nortman. It's Packers-Bears, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's the oldest rivalry in the history of the sport.
but there's so much unknown, right? Like, this could be a total crap game, Ben. You and I could be honest here for a second.
I mean, yeah.
This might be a 7-3 game.
I remember it was the 100th year of the NFL, and they kicked off on Thursday Night Football with Bears-Packers. I think it was either 2018 or 19. It was 10-3 was the final. It was disgusting.
Right. Yeah,
there's something romantic about the Packers and the Bears, though, right? I mean, it's just such a classic rivalry.
Really?
It's always going to get ratings.
Romantic.
For sure.
More butt kissing going on.
Yeah, we can do that with the Packers. It's fine. Keep preaching.
It's a classic rivalry. I mean, it's one of those things that everyone will tune into because it's just, I mean, they're marquee franchises and Soldier Field, Lambeau Field, wherever they're playing, I feel like it's going to get a rating.
Soldier Field, yuck.
It is yuck. I ain't gonna lie. I'm right there with
It
you.
reminds me of my high school football team. I did not play on, but I would go to the games in the stands. We only won 2 games in the entire 4 years I was at school there.
Dang,
the only 2 games that we won, it was a mud fest. It rained so much that we learned how to play in the mud, and the other teams didn't know how to play in the mud. So we only won 2 games. It's like going to Soldier Field. The turf rips up. It's a disaster.
It's a terrible field.
That's what I'm saying. It's not as romantic as it's not a honeymoon. You're not on the beach.
Did you play there at one point?
Oh yeah, a few times.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the field it's as bad as advertised.
Okay.
I mean, it's patchy, it's long, generally speaking. You feel slow in it, honestly. You feel pretty slow. It feels like it's...
Where are you running to?
I'm running, Ben. I'm covering the
Did you not see his fake punts in Wisconsin? Guy's got speed. He's an athlete.
Bring it. You want to see this guy coming down the field? I don't think you want to.
What did Kirk Herbstreit call you once? An offensive weapon, if I'm not mistaken? He's an offensive weapon.
Did you
shows
complete a pass once?
I did. I'm 1 for 1.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Hey, NFL.
QB2.
I have not 1, not 2, but 2.5 credited tackles in the NFL.
Wow,
nice.
2.5.
Oh, wait
Yeah,
a minute.
2.5.
I'm a little. How many punt returns on you now?
Let's not go there.
Oh, no, I'm just curious. I hope it's
Hester got one on you, right?
No, Hester never did. I always brought my A game against Hester. So I've actually
strictly out of bounds.
Strictly out of bounds. Everyone else might be
30-yard punt out of bounds.
Yeah, right.
Darren Sproles got one on me.
Okay. Cribsy? Cribs? Josh Cribs? Never get one?
No.
Okay.
Cribsy?
Some no-name
It's
guy.
my guy.
Some no-name guy from New Orleans.
All right.
Listen to a punter saying a no-name guy. I love
thought we were
that.
going to talk about Jordan Love. Now we've started the pregame show with back-to-back specialist
All right,
talk.
I'm banning specialist talk
Give
until the
them
2
what they
o'clock
want.
hour. Until we're done with Wildy, I'm banning specialist talk. We will talk about Anders Carlson in the 2 o'clock
Does
hour.
that mean Brad can't talk?
Somehow, right? Yeah, just shut up, Brad. Amazingly, Ben Bruss the one to get us back on track, so well done to you.
Thank you.
He's practicing.
He's in a new era.
Yes.
He's in a new era of his
I can
career.
do more
Yeah.
listening and get us on track than just like make Greg go, whoa, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, all right. Jordan Love, obviously a lot of questions. I think we were all impressed by what we saw in the preseason. I was looking for strictly poise and confidence, and we saw that. Ben, you're giving me a look like, I wasn't that impressed because I'm curious how much value put into the preseason.
The word impressive just seems like a little high. Like he was solid.
I
Did
think
what
he was
needed
impressive.
to do.
I don't think that's high.
Is that impressive for a guy that's been in the system for 4 years and to run? I mean, let's be honest. There was 3 series, 1 each game that he was impressive. There was also like good moments, bad moments, missed throws. Like again, it was preseason. It's hard for me to use the word impressive when there's nothing coming at you.
You're nitpicking. Look, I mean, for a guy we knew nothing about, for a guy who we had no confidence in, right? You're moving on from a first ballot, 4-time MVP Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers, sending him away and saying, hey, this is the guy. You're the heir to the throne. We knew nothing about him outside of 10 passes he threw in garbage time against Philadelphia on Sunday night last year and a performance none of us really even count against Kansas City a few years ago. You knew nothing about the guy. There were no whisper campaigns of how great he was. So when he comes out on the field and he's running his progressions,
But that's
he's looking
why it was
confident.
Impressive, because there was no whispers, right? Like to me,
You just said it wasn't impressive.
No, but I'm saying in your mindset, you're saying it's so impressive because there was nothing to go off of. To me, that's not a way to judge, right? You should be judging on if he's going to be QB1. What do you expect from it? It shouldn't be to be impressive making a swing pass to Aaron Jones.
Okay. Maybe the word impressive may be the Packer love with him on his Chinese Jordan Love jersey there. But bootleg, I guess it would be. But the whole thing about this was, okay, if impressive is too much, did he look like a starting QB?
Yeah,
he looked like
he
a
played
QB1.
the part.
All right, so
it was impressive.
So he might be spinning a little hyperbole because of the fact that he's a Packers fan. I'm a Packers fan too, so I'm gonna tame it down a little bit because of the fact we got you here.
Were you impressed?
I was satisfied.
Thank you.
I was satisfied.
That's a good word.
I was satisfied with what I saw from Jordan Love because of the unknown. And to me, he looked like an NFL quarterback. He looked like somebody playing within the offense. He had a little bit of robot to him, but it was preseason and things were scripted for him, especially on the first drives. But I had confidence that, okay, we have a guy here. Like, we have a guy that we can be successful and we can compete.
Are we doing one words right now?
Yeah, and I got one for you. I was encouraged.
Oh, look
I'm
at that.
encouraged.
I like Nordy.
Because you look at him and look.
On Twitter, we put something out. What one word did you feel after watching Jordan Love's preseason?
Let's get that out there, Max. Max Meyerson running the show.
I'm running
for
the
us.
show for us
You're
now.
doing a great job. Doing a great job.
And that's because being an NFL quarterback is so ridiculously hard that, like, even to do it in the preseason against vanilla coverages when you already have these plays scripted, that's still hard. It's still hard to read coverages, to train your eyes to go in the right directions, and then actually make the throw. It's going to get significantly harder for them, right? Because he's going to be schemed against, and it's going to be a whole lot faster. The talent's going to be a whole lot better. But I was encouraged by he is doing everything you are asking of him to do. Mm-hmm. And there was a scenario where Jordan Love is terrible. That is a scenario. I think we can confidently eliminate that scenario, which is encouraging.
And this is coming from a guy who is 1 for 1 in NFL passing.
Yeah, great quarterback. But you also played with a couple of great quarterbacks. I always love relying on your experience because this is a new era for Packers fans, right? They don't know what it's like, at least since 2008, when a guy you don't really know a ton about is taking over the team. You played with Cam Newton, who everybody knew a lot about. And he came in and he was impressive and led you guys to a Super Bowl berth when you were in Carolina. When you were in Jacksonville, Packers legend Blake Bortles was your quarterback. He led you guys, though, to an AFC championship game in your final year in the league and kind of flamed out thereafter. So I'm curious, when you look at a young quarterback leading the charge, taking the reins of a team like Jordan Love is for the Packers, what are you looking for in week number 1 for you to sit here and say, man, I was impressed?
Well, you're looking for a guy that feels comfortable in the moment. The moment's not too big for him. That he walks in there and he arises confidence in everybody else because he takes the stage. It doesn't feel too big. He's accurately making passes. You're doing everything you're asking him to do. I think it's unrealistic to be hey, Jordan, we need you to be a top 10 quarterback. It's just not realistic. He's not going to be that. He can grow into that. But every time Cam had success and Blake had success, everybody else was doing their job to allow, Cam and Blake to do their thing. And you just wanted to lean on them with consistency and that, hey, I can lead us in this. And this is not too big for me. Follow me. Let's do this. I think Jordan has taken those steps. This is a big step for him to do today. And as adversity hits, because there's going to be some times and today even, where it's like, oh man, things are going sideways quickly. Can he stay poised? Can he stay confident?
Yeah, the hard part about that is like the ups and downs he'll face today. He only has really one outlet, and that's going to be, the offensive line and run game right now. Like, when things go south, who's he going to look to for the big play? And if it's Musgrave, that's great, but he's a rookie too. And you talk about, or not rookie, obviously, Jordan Love's a first year starter. Right. But with Musgrave, right, you talked earlier about how week 1 as a rookie feels big. And so not only is Jordan Love have a moment that's going to feel big and we're going to learn a lot, he's not equipped with veterans on the outside and in the middle of the field that are going to make the right read no matter what because they've put the reps in every single day for 4 years.
And that was my biggest concern coming into this season, and also especially now today it is heightened, is the fact that last year we saw the Packers struggle with their receivers to get open. And so now this year, when Christian Watson being out today, Romeo Doubs being hampered, I'm a little bit nervous about the fact, can these guys get open? And so that's something that will play a big role in success because you can do whatever you can. You can get the run game going. You can play action fake. But if guys aren't getting open, you're still going to struggle. You're still going to have to scramble. You're not going to be able to get settled. So that's something I am a little bit concerned about with the youth and inexperience at receiver is, can these guys actually get open for Jordan Love to hit them?
Well, and make no mistake, Strophy, when you talked about what did those guys do in those moments when it felt big and then they had success, when things got a little bit uneasy, there's no doubt that Cam was looking for Steve Smith and Greg Olsen. And when it was Blake, he was looking for Alan Hearns, Allen Robinson, and Mercedes Lewis. Where are my guys?
Rodgers always had his outlet as well.
Yes.
We obviously know it was Devontae Adams, and sometimes to a fault, a.k.a. the San Francisco game in
just heaved it up
2022.
Yeah, playoffs.
2021.
So 21 season, 22 calendar.
So that's why missing Watson,
hate that.
Even a second-year player, it's a big loss. It's a big loss today.
It's a big loss. Real quick, guys, rapid fire. Who are you more concerned about? Is it the wide receiver group or the tight end group today?
It's wide receiver.
Okay.
I mean, because you knew going into this game, you still have what you were preparing for, young tight ends. You don't have your most veteran guys on the outside, and it's just Christian Watson alone. Even if Romeo Doubs was full and not on snap count like he is today, the loss of Christian Watson, Kyle hit on it, his ability to stretch the field, even if he's not making the catch, opens up stuff for others like Musgrave and Doubs in the middle of the field.
Nice rapid fire, Brad.
If both are healthy, I would say tight end is more concerning, but considering the unhealth of the wide receiver, it's the receivers today.
Kyle?
Receivers.
Yeah, okay. That's unanimous. I figured it's an interesting. I agree. It's receivers. Tight ends,
Max,
though, do
rapid
worry.
fire?
Yeah, Max, rapid fire. Give us a soliloquy real quick, like Brusty just did. We'll check in with Rob Demovsky down at Soldier Field in Chicago. ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter Rob Demovsky joins us next. It's Green Bay Game Day live on ESPN Wisconsin.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Greetings, ESPN listeners. This is Matt Anderson with Maddie's Bar and Grill in New Berlin. I want to personally thank everyone for making our 25th summer amazing. The big backyard at Maddie's hosted over 100 catered parties and live music events, and we are just getting warmed up as we turn the corner into another great Wisconsin sports season. Our 18-foot LED wall, combined with Maddie's signature hospitality, culinary and spirits expertise, and amazing space makes this your ultimate destination for all things sports this fall. I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
Here in Wisconsin, a good old-fashioned is an important way of life. And that's where my friends at Perky's Old Fashioned come in. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to tell you about the easiest way to put together an old-fashioned. Perky's offers both brandy and bourbon old-fashioned mixes. And get this, the booze is already in there. Just add the soda of your choosing, and you'll have Grandma Perky's Old Fashioned in the palm of your hand. Perky's is locally made and great for get-togethers of all kinds. Get perked up and head to perkysspirits.com for your nearest Perky's location.
What advice would you give somebody that you know that's window shopping?
I'd have to say Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level in the replacement game. They came in ahead of time, measured all the windows, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window. They're great professionals, Gina, and some of the best in the world at what they do.
Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window or $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today. Pella's team of expert installers start with an in-home consultation and finish with no hassle or mess, leaving nothing but perfect results that stand the test of time. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, pay as low as $19 per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
Did you know that when you talk, read, or sing with your child, you're helping to shape their brain? Every parent has the power to create a strong start for our children from the day they are born. Visit TalkingIsTeaching.org for free tips and ideas on how to transform everyday moments into magical moments for learning.
The end of one era on ESPN Milwaukee means the start of a new one. It's Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every weekday from 2 to 5, followed by the Homer Hour from 5 to 6. The debuts happen September 11th right here on 94.5 ESPN. You're listening to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Green Bay Game Day rolling on live on ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Alex Strofe alongside K, B, and N, debuting tomorrow across ESPN Wisconsin at 2 o'clock Monday. Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, Brad Nortman, the former NFL punter. Excited to be joined now on the Talk and Text line with ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter and state champion father, that is, Rob Demovsky, joining us now from Chicago. Rob, appreciate you taking the time, my friend. I've heard the traffic in Chicago has not been pretty. I hope you are safe and sound and in a good spot to talk to us.
It's never pretty in the city, and I grew up here, and every time I come back, I tell myself, I don't know how I ever lived here.
Fair enough. I'm with you on that. So let's dive into this because a lot of things, Rob, popping up over the course of the last 24 hours. Obviously, Christian Watson out of this game. It seems like Romeo Doubs' snaps will be limited due to that hamstring injury, but he will play today for Green Bay. This is a tough situation for Jordan Love in his first real start for the Packers today without, debatably, his top two receivers to a point.
Yeah, no question. But here's the thing that I think doubles down on it. And to be honest, from what I can tell from talking to Matt LaFleur, he's almost more concerned about the tight ends than he is the receivers. I mean, obviously, Romeo Doubs, if he can't go full steam, it's a huge problem. But they've got 4 tight ends on the roster. One of them's a blocking fullback, basically, in Josiah DeGuara, and the other 3 are rookies. And when I talked to Matt last week for a story that ran the other day about how the offense is going to change, I mean, one of the things he said was, Yeah, a lot's going to depend on Jordan, and a lot's going to depend on how we come together as an offense. But a huge part of it's going to be how these tight ends and how quickly these guys can acclimate themselves to this game. And I'm not saying there's an easy position to jump into the NFL and play, but I don't know that tight end would be at the top of the list of easiest spots. I don't think it is.
Rob, there's been a lot of conversation, obviously, with Matt bringing Joe Barry back, and is the scheme going to change? What do you expect from the defense in Week 1 with a scary Justin Fields with his legs?
Yeah, I mean, this might not be the game to exactly tell what the Joe Barry defense is going to be like, because I don't know how you can rush this guy with reckless abandon, because he's just so liable to slip out and put up a 50-yard run against you, like I think he did in one of the games last year. Look, all offseason, we heard Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas say, we want to be more aggressive, we want to play more press man, which is great. But when have you guys ever heard a defense saying, oh, we want to be less aggressive, right? Like, nobody says that. It's just not part of the thing. So for all the we want to be more aggressive talk, that comes from the guys in the secondary. So, I guess I would be curious to see, who Jair is covering today. Is it DJ Moore wherever he goes, or do they play as much zone as they did last year, which quite frankly, got them into some trouble. And then they still don't have everybody obviously on defense. Eric Stokes, first round pick, is not playing and won't play for the first 4 weeks. And look, Keyshawn Nixon was a really, really, really good kick returner. Maybe, obviously all pro guy, one of the best in the league last year. I'm not so sure how good of a nickel corner he is. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on as well. And then, of course, Rashawn Gary being on a snap count. I will say he's looked really good in the training camp practices where they were actually going full speed. But, again, there's so much that has to come together for Week 1. I would caution this. If they don't play well defensively today, I'm not so sure that means, well, this is how they're going to be again, and Joe Barry's not going to make any adjustments. I do think this game might not be the full Joe Barry experience. But, look, if they get gashed again and we don't see any sign of changes here in the next few weeks, I think there's a real problem.
Rob, Brad Nortman here, longtime reader and consumer of your content, first-time conversationalist.
Oh,
so
here's
nice
the
ass-kissing
conversation we were having earlier.
We've never met. I got to say my pleasantries, don't I?
Rob, big fan.
Long time
Read your
fan.
stuff.
Go ahead, Brad.
Punters are some of my favorite people. So
my guy, Rob.
His shirt says punters are people, too.
That's right. Make the message known. I knew I liked you from the get-go, Rob. Hey, here's my question. So everyone wants to ascribe greater value to this game as who has the upper hand in this rivalry. Is this the turning of a chapter? There's a lot of potential with both of these teams. In your eyes, is there any worth of ascribing any meta-narrative value to like this rivalry, or is this just Week 1 and it's just opening season game and it's just another Packer-Bears game?
I can tell you this, Brad, and from being around some buddies from Chicago last night, like they couldn't be more excited from a fan perspective of they finally rid themselves of having to deal with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Now, I'm sure this is probably what they felt back in 2008 when Rodgers took over, and we all know how that turned out. But I will say this: if the Bears end up winning this game today, you can bet the people down here will be like, yep, see, all right, we're finally back in this rivalry. But wouldn't it be sort of, I don't know if poetic's the right word, but wouldn't it be one hell of a story if Jordan Love, led a game-winning drive in the final 2 minutes to, break their hearts again down here? I mean, that would be just incredible theater. But the bottom line is, I think your point about just this being one game is probably right. It's hard to say just because one team wins today that means that they now have the upper hand in this rivalry, or this is the way it's going to be. I don't know that I would subscribe to that. The interesting thing is that these guys don't play again till Week 18, so there could be a ton to play for when they meet again, or there could be nothing to play for when they meet again, and we won't still have a clear answer on where this rivalry is headed.
Rob Demovsky with us here on Green Bay Game Day, ESPN NFL Nation Packers reporter down in Chicago ahead of the Week 1 matchup between the Packers and the Bears. Rob, we were just talking before you hopped on with us about the impression that Jordan Love gave us in the preseason. I called it impressive. The guys didn't think, they thought that was too strong. I'm curious, what impression did Jordan Love give Rob Demovsky in his first preseason as the guy for the Green Bay Packers?
The word I keep going back to is comfortable. He just looked comfortable there. Not saying he was spectacular, but he just looked at ease, and I thought he handled the whole thing from, a temperament standpoint really well. Like, I never saw him get frustrated in practice. If somebody dropped the ball, there was some center quarterback exchange issues. I never saw him slam the ball down, never saw him spike the ball, never saw him gesture toward a receiver who may or may not have run the right route.
Ooh, taking shots at Aaron Rodgers there.
That's not a shot. It's a change. And look, Jordan Love might not be to that point where he's comfortable doing that yet. And with a young team, it's probably okay to not do that right now, because to me, this is a team that looks like it could come together as a group. Now, obviously, you guys know, and Brad especially knows the NFL locker rooms. It's a potpourri of ages, right? You have 21-year-old guys and you have 32-year-old guys. But there's an awful lot of guys on this team between, say, age 23 and 25. And it just sort of feels like that there's a togetherness and a comfort level with this group. And look, come 325 today, that might not mean squat. But that was the feeling that I got this whole preseason from not only just being in the practice field, but in the locker room as well when we had availability with the players.
Rob, really quickly here, Kyle Wallace, and we talked about the Packers defense and what we expect from them. Now, the Bears, if you talk to some of these Chicagoland folks, they are excited about their rebuilt defense. I know they had big four free agent signings. If you're talking about Ngakoue, you're talking about Walker, you're talking about Edmonds, and you're talking about Edwards. Should we be concerned that the Bears actually have some studs? Because Edwards played really well last year. Edmonds was already a solidified inside linebacker, and we already know the threat Ngakoue was, and Walker also great on the defensive line. So should we be concerned that the Bears may also actually have those monsters of the Midway again?
Yeah, in talking to David Bakhtiari this week about those guys, he sort of said, look, it's kind of a new look up front, but it's guys that they've played against before, so they're sort of familiar with them. They're just not familiar with how they are together. I think I don't know that the Bears are ever going to get back to, some of those incredible dominant defenses that they had. Even the Urlacher years where they were just, so talented. But I think this might be a defense that, while there may not be like, a stud all-pro, that it's really solid from 1 to 11. So, that's the part of it for me that's going to be interesting to see. Let's just say Justin Fields, isn't putting up 30 a game or 25 a game. What this defense can do to keep them in games, because they definitely, the guys you mentioned, I mean, they made a concerted effort to try to shore up that side of the ball to maybe make it so that Justin Fields doesn't have to win every game.
Wrap it up with Rob Demovsky here on Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe, Ben Bruss, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace with you. Rob, I'm curious, how much stock do you put into a Week 1 game? I mean, how much will today do you think will tell you about what the rest of the season holds for this Packers team? Because it's a tricky situation. There's so many questions and so many things unknown. Where are you at? How much stock are you putting into today?
Yeah, I'm not sure ever what to make in openers. I mean, let's go back 2 years ago when they got absolutely destroyed by the Saints in that game down in Jacksonville, right? I wrote a story about that early in the week, and Matt LaFleur, quite frankly said, look, hey, we got our what's kicked the last couple of years, right? Like openers in Minnesota opener was where they put up 7 points. And really, if you look at openers in the Matt LaFleur era, they're 2-2, but the first one, his first game was ugly, right? When they win 10-3, I think that was down here, if I'm not mistaken. So, I don't know that they've been great in openers, and yet in 3 of those 4 years they won 13 games. Here's my only thing: if Jordan Love and the offense just look completely out of sorts, then I think there's reason to worry. If they go down and play well and play competitive, win or lose, I don't know that you can make huge judgments either way. The only way that I think you make a major judgment out of this game is if it just, from an offensive and a quarterback standpoint, that it just goes terribly.
I think you're totally right on that. He's a state champion father and a state champion reporter. Got you covered on all things Packers at ESPNWisconsin.com. Rob, go eat a Chicago dog and get ready for the America's Game of the Week at 3:25. We'll talk to you next week, my friend.
Looking forward to talking to you guys every week. This is going to be fun.
It sure is. Appreciate you. Rob Demovsky, ESPNWisconsin.com. Get ready for the game by reading Rob Demovsky and listening to us clowns getting you ready for Packers and Bears. 3:25 kickoff, America's Game of the Week on Fox. I'm Alex Strofe alongside KBN, debuting tomorrow on ESPN Wisconsin, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Ben Bruss, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace, all here at the Groover Law Offices. One call, that's all, studios at the 3rd Street Market Hall downtown Milwaukee. Max Meyerson running the show for us today, as is Colin Russo in Madison. We'll continue to talk a little bit of Jordan Love. I've still got questions, and I don't know if these geniuses will be able to give me the answers, but I'm certainly going to have them try. That's coming up next as we roll on, getting you ready for kickoff. It's Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Spectrum TV customers, you have lost access to Disney's unrivaled portfolio of live sports on ESPN, like college football and Monday Night Football, live sports and news coverage, plus kids, family, and entertainment programming, all gone. Take action now and tell Charter you want your networks back. Go to keepmynetworks.com to learn more.
The key slides into the ignition. The engine rumbles to life. My hand grips the throttle. New gear for my ride. The road, my invitation. The sound, the smell, the exhilaration. I am one with the bike. And the car in front of me suddenly turns in my lane. Motorcycles are everywhere, but too often go unnoticed. Please, always look twice, be alert, and share the road with motorcycles at all times. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, there's no such thing as an uphill battle. With a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. Because with impressive towing capability, an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen, and the choice of powerful engines to pick from, whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado with the capability you need. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Show your Brewers pride everywhere you go with Brewers Checking, only from Associated Bank. Score exclusive perks like a one-of-a-kind Brewers Debit MasterCard, 10% off at the team store, even express check-in at the Associated Bank gate. And if you want a VIP game day, the Associated Bank Power Alley is for everyone. Contact the Brewers ticket office to learn how you could treat your crew to a full buffet and private bar overlooking left center field. Brewers Checking. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Brewers today. Member FDIC.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Green Bay Game Day rolls on live. Week number 1 is here. You made it, Packers fans, as we get ready for Green Bay in Chicago. Rusty, hit me with that again.
Chicago.
That's pretty good, actually. Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers coming up at 3:25.
Now, are you the guys that, claim you're from Chicago, or do you claim
No,
you're
I'm from the
City?
suburbs.
Okay, so you don't say, I'm from Chicago, and then you from,
I'm from
north suburbs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a suburb
I
guy, man.
saw it-
I'm not going to try and be something.
I
I'm
saw a
not.
TikTok this week, which may tell you too much about my algorithm, but it was of sorority sisters all saying they were from. Did you see this as
No,
well?
I just have sorority sisters on mine as well.
Okay, so me and Kyle, 2 peas in a pod.
What's wrong with your TikToks? What are you guys looking at?
Oh, mine's my Instagram, but
Anyway,
Your algorithms are quite interesting.
They were all saying they were from Chicago, but they were actually 30 minutes outside the city. I don't know. That was a dead fish. My bad. Alex Strofe, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust, and Kyle Wallace with you here on Green Bay Game Day as we get you ready for kickoff. I'd love to hear from you. What are you doing today? What are you concerned about? I know you got concerns. Tell me what they are. 800-990-3776. I saw a text come in a little bit earlier about the youth at tight end and how tight end is such a tough position, as Rob Domofsky was just alluding to be really good at in week number 1, right? And I was talking with Tarek Saleh and Derek Angler, who you can hear on the Great Dane Huddle every Thursday on ESPN Madison. They think that's the hardest position to get ready for in week number 1, Brad. I'm curious where you're at on that.
Yeah, everything about the history of the tight end position would reflect that this is an incredibly hard position to be ready at, both in a receiving standpoint, because things get a whole lot more physical and faster than when you used to be able to get open, no problem with running certain routes. That's not the case anymore. And blocking these guys is way different than what you guys used to block in college. So history of the NFL, even of great tight ends that become Hall of Famers, very few spark in year 1. It takes a couple of years to bake before you really get comfortable and can be a game breaker, which it seems like the ingredients are there for these tight ends, particularly Musgrave. But man, I just don't expect a lot from them this year.
Yeah, the hard part for me right now is trying to wrap my head around the fact that, Tucker Kraft hasn't really been mentioned.
No, he hasn't.
And if he has been mentioned, it's not for positive things, right? And so again, that's part of the tight end growth. But what I will applaud the Packers for is they have headed into the season with a ton of unknowns, but they're not taking time away from those unknowns. They're going to get reps. Their young guys are going to get chances to play. They haven't signed any veteran wide receivers yet to take reps away from even a Jaden Reed or I don't know, some of these guys we're going to see, Malik Heath and DeBose. They're running the team out there. They didn't bring a kicker into shoot. That's on me.
Yeah, you keep saying it. You're good.
I guess I'm buying his pizza now.
They didn't even bring a kicker in to challenge Carlson in the preseason. So my point is despite no matter what the reports are, good, bad, or ugly, or average on any of these young guys, we're going to see them and we're going to watch them grow together.
Well, and that's what Rob said, right? That there's a very wide cohort of players that are in this very small age group that are all very young. And when, all NFL teams I was on, there was a big spread in age, right? You had some young rookies, you had some old dudes, you got guys that are just come out of college and used to that lifestyle. You got other guys that have 5 kids and they've got gray beards, right? So it's weird to try to mesh these together. I gather this is more of like a college type feel, right? Where we're kind of all in this together, we're all growing together.
I mean, a fraternity, if you will.
They went partying together.
A fraternity, if you will.
Oh, how about that?
That's what they call a callback, Benny. It's what you need for KBN. Little hosting tip for you.
Callbacks are lame.
I agree. All right. I'm with you guys. I think tight end is certainly fascinating to me. Now, what we've talked a lot about in the offseason, it feels like, is Bubba Frank's rookie year is the best rookie tight end year ever by a Packer, and it wasn't that big of a year. He had 34 catches for 363 yards and a touchdown. Best rookie tight end season of all time in Green Bay Packers history. With all the hype around Luke Musgrave, you think he should probably double all those numbers at the least, right?
Wow.
That's 70 catches, a little bit less than 700 yards and 2 touchdowns. That should be doable. Look, somebody's got to catch the ball, Kyle. I know you say, wow.
I mean, but that's high. That's high expectation.
Super high.
70 seems high.
That's high for a rookie.
Who's going to catch the ball?
At Potawatomi Sportsbook, his over-under for catches this year is around 35-36.
Which I think would be a good season for a rookie tight end, but just for any receiving threat. It's not like he's some stud first-round pick guy. Hey, TJ
second-round pick.
Well, he's still good. He's good.
He's a stud second-round pick, Kyle.
He's a really good player, but putting 70 catches on him? So do you expect Jaden Reed to have 70 catches?
Somebody's got to catch the ball is my biggest issue here.
Yeah, but again, this system's made for not just you have to get it in the middle of the field. These running backs are going to be involved. Aaron Jones.
But the system is also made for tight ends.
I hear you, but Aaron Jones is going to when Christian Watson's been out, he's had 7, 8, 6. He's had over 5 catches any time that Christian Watson's been out. We're going to see A.J. Dillon in the past game. He's been used. Sure. So those two are going to get the bulk of it because those are knowns. Are you going to throw it to Musgrave? Yes, but I think it is a horrendous precedent to set that you should be expecting 70.
I'm not saying I'm expecting it. I'm just saying
you did say you should. I heard the word should. You can't put all the pressure on my boys now.
What do we want? No expectations?
No,
do you like not having expectations?
Fair expectations.
What's
For
fair?
a rookie tight end.
Tell me what's fair.
Now.
Because look,
30 to 40 catches.
somebody needs to catch the football.
I mean, but
somebody needs to
when you
catch
say
football.
somebody, Christian Watson's eventually going to be
He's
back.
not even playing today.
He's going to be back at some point.
You think
during
he's
the
played
season.
16 games this year?
No, he's going to probably play about 14 games this year, 12 to 14, because I think that might be the expectation based off the past history that he's shown. Romeo Dobbs is going to be there. Jaden Reed's going to be there.
That.
I mean, maybe Josiah DeGuara will show that he's more than just.
They've literally moved him out of the tight end position on the depth chart to just be a blocking.
Didn't you buy a cameo from him last week?
I did because it was Greg's guy.
Wait a minute.
How much did you
put money in this man's pocket?
Yeah, we called him Josiah the Messiah DeGuara when he was drafted.
That was
so we bought stock and we're still we probably bought it at 10 instead of $1 and then I paid him $50.
That math isn't mathing for me. It's Green Bay Game Day. Alex North, Ben Bruss, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace.
Cameo for Josiah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you've invested too much money.
I did it for Greg Scalzo. Yeah. It was his last week on our show.
You're better off getting him a gift card to somewhere here in the 3rd Street Market.
Yeah, that's probably very true. We'll be talking to Jason Wilde coming up next hour. We think he sent me a text that he's stuck in traffic, so I'll keep you posted, Max. We're going to do this on the air. Very quality stuff. But real quick, got to tell you about our friends over at Boucher Automotive, where for over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experience to all their valued customers. Boucher Automotive Group, riding with you every mile since 1977. A reminder, you can catch Green Bay Game Day streaming live video. If you want to see the shenanigans going on in the 3rd Street Market Hall, you can find it on YouTube. See the beautiful Punters Are People 2 shirt that Brad Nortman's got on. Ben Brust has his Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey that Matt LaFleur signed here, but he's not wearing it. I'm intrigued by why it's
waiting for the right time.
Okay, and obviously the Jets play tomorrow. So
we're focusing on J Love right now.
I imagine. Well, yeah, that's why I've got my jersey on today, J Love. I don't want to see that though. Why did you buy it in the first place?
Put it on. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I like Aaron Rodgers. I want to see him succeed. I love how he opens up his life.
But weren't you sick of him? Weren't you sick of him at the end of his Packers tenure?
You were.
Yeah, but
keep it real.
It was almost like how you watch trash TV.
I watch a ton of it.
You get addicted to it.
Yeah, I watch a ton of it.
I loved it all. I loved the FaceTime nonsense. I just loved it.
That part
Darkness
was so funny to me. Yeah.
And coming out of there.
That's fair.
His intentions.
I guess
I'm not going to lie. I don't think Goody did a great job either. They're both at fault, and Aaron's the one who's the fall guy on all this. The Packers did a phenomenal job of putting this in a view of Aaron's the problem. And
Aaron is the problem. He was the problem.
Oh,
he,
yeah?
He literally showed up. He showed up last season and didn't care about actually contributing to this team.
Guess what? If I showed up after back-to-back MVPs and my bums were rookies out there, I'm trying to teach rookies in the prime of my career after back-to-back MVPs. You trade away Devontae Adams, and I got to go out there with Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs.
Listen,
get back out of here. I'm not here to babysit. I'm here to win a championship.
He signed a contract.
The team didn't go in for him, and it's all Aaron's fault.
A leader would do it, though. A leader would do that.
Thank you.
Tom Brady would do that.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you, Brad.
Yes.
That's my boy.
Tom Brady would have not be there anymore because Bill Belichick wouldn't put him in a situation where he couldn't have a chance to win a championship.
And that's
why they have championships, because they have guys around them that could go do it. They were never going to do it with how they constructed that roster last year.
The thought was Rodgers can make up for it, and with Rodgers' leadership.
That's unfair.
He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
It's not unfair.
No, I agree that
it's completely unfair.
I agree that it's unfair, but there's a certain way as a professional you should go about your business as being the leader of this football team. And Aaron Rodgers decided to be spiteful. He decided to do everything he could to He literally did on purpose, sign that contract, knew he was going to leave, all because he wanted to stick it to the Packers. And then he got to New York and he decided to take a nice little pay cut. He did all of this in mind.
Because they didn't do anything for him. But would you take a pay cut for the Packers? Trust Brian Gutekunst? They don't spend money on free agents.
Did you go on Scalzo and Bruss in order to make Craig happy, despite what Craig did or whatever? I mean, Craig's a great leader. Or did you do it because you wanted to make sure you wanted to make sure Scalzo, you wanted to make sure Josh, you wanted to make sure you had a great show. You cared about your teammates, right? You gave it 100% regardless.
Yeah, but they're putting me in a situation to be successful. That's not what Goody did for that team.
All right, well, I'll give you that.
That's not what Goody did. Why would Aaron Rodgers take a pay cut for the Packers when he would just try and trade for more picks?
No, it's completely unacceptable.
Worked out for him. And he hasn't signed anybody of value in free agency since 2019. Signed Billy Turner, Amos, and all.
I agree that I don't like what they put around him. I said when they signed Sammy Watkins, that was a complete joke. That was a slap in our face that Sammy Watkins was there and he decided not to show up in before training camp and mini camp. And so, but still, as a professional and a leader of the team, there's a certain expectation you're supposed to carry yourself, and Aaron Rodgers did not do that. He mailed it in last year. He did not care last year, and that was not good for the Packers. If you're going to play, you're going to step. If you're going to get that check.
He broke his thumb and played through.
He sucked before he broke his thumb.
It doesn't matter.
Okay?
If he didn't care, if he didn't care, why wouldn't he shut down?
Because he likes to play football, but still, the leader in the locker room he needed to be, he was not that last year.
I think the minute Jordan Love was drafted, he said, "Screw it, I'm not leading anymore. I'm going to be great. But like the minute it becomes inconvenient for me, I'm not into it." So like Goody does play a role in this. Like, yes, could have had better people around him to maybe have more playmakers, and then the Jordan Love pick. I think that muddied the waters for life. Yeah. For life.
Yeah. If we've learned one thing about Aaron Rodgers, you put a chip on his shoulder. He's going to make sure and do whatever he can to make sure he proves you wrong. And he's going to do that again this year as he takes on this new venture in New York with the Jets, and he kicks off his season tomorrow on Monday Night Football, which, of course, you can watch on ESPN. You want more of that fiery debate? You're going to get it each and every weekday from 2 to 5 on KBN. Kyle Bruston Nortman with these three clowns.
Yeah, I got Mr. Green and Gold goggles in front of me. He just only sees the,
I can't be real. I said that I agree that Goody did not put talent around Rodgers, but I'm not going to sit here and act like Aaron Rodgers gave his all to the Green Bay Packers last season. He didn't. You know he didn't. Yeah, Brad knows he didn't. Sophie knows he didn't. Max knows he didn't. All the Green Bay Packer Nation knows he didn't.
I respect the fact that Aaron is spiteful, man.
I do too. It's fun. It's going to be weird without him in green and gold instead in green and white. Brusty, one more time. What was that sound Kyle made just a second ago?
You're going to hear a lot of that.
You're going to hear more of that as we roll on. 2.5 hours to go, 1 hour down. It's Green Bay Game Day. Getting you ready for the opener. Bears-Packers. Green Bay Game Day rolls on next.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Football fans, tailgating season is here, and if you want to win at tailgating, you need to Bodify your beverage choice. Bodabox wine is the ultimate addition to your tailgate party. This premium wine comes in a box, so it fits perfectly in your cooler or trunk, and there's no heavy glass or corkscrew to deal with. One 3-liter Bodabox is equivalent to 4 regular bottles of wine, so it's great for sharing. Bring the wine that wins with wine critics, Bodabox. This is how we Boda. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Bodabox Vineyards, Manteca, California.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab Game Day Eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the Endless Summer Sale, September 1st through the 11th, and get 30% off paints and stains with prices starting at $31.14. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, years, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Unfiltered, shameless, and analytical. ESPN Milwaukee's next afternoon show is Kyle, Brust, and Northman. Weekdays from 2 to 5. And it debuts on Monday, September 11th at 2 o'clock, right here on 94.5 ESPN. You're listening to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Green Bay Game Day rolling on live from the Grubel offices. One call, that's all. Studios at the 3rd Street Market Hall, downtown Milwaukee. Getting you ready for week number 1 action. The oldest rivalry in the National Football League comes to center stage this afternoon, 3:25 p.m. America's Game of the Week on Fox. Packers, Bears. Alex Strofe, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust with you. We'll catch up with Jason Wilde coming up next as he's down in Chicago maneuvering his way through traffic. Brusty, you grew up in that area. How bad's the traffic?
See, I'm the type of person where, like, as long as I know what I'm getting into, I'm okay. If I know it's going to be an hour,
I'm horrible at that.
Like again, I don't prefer it, but you got to just set your mindset. Right, you got to be like, all right, it's going to be an hour, and you got to find, like, I would listen to, like, our sister station, ESPN 1000, or like when you find your podcasts that you like across Wisconsin on demand.
So I ran into this situation on Friday on my way to Milwaukee.
Also, pro tip: if you're close to a train station, you can bring some drinks on the train, and it's nice.
That is a pro tip. What happens when you need to pee? Because that's what I dealt with. I was in standstill traffic on Friday, and I had to pee. And I didn't really know what to do about it.
You exit? What do you mean?
I can tell you.
I couldn't exit. I was at standstill in the middle of the highway.
Over on like the side area of the road. You know, it's kind of like the.
I'm like right next to AmFam Field on that highway on 94.
So here's what I got to do leaving a baseball game, a White Sox game. This was, I want to say, I was probably fifth grade, and we were stuck in traffic, and we were going through the tollway line. My brother was in the back seat with me. My other brother was driving. My sister was in the front seat. While we were going 5 to 10 miles per hour, my brother opened up the door, and I just peed out the door as we were driving.
No
5
way.
miles per hour.
That is such a Brust story.
You peed on the door?
No, I peed out.
Oh, you're hitting the back doors. You're hitting windows. You're hitting other people's windshields. That's awful.
No, I had a consistent stream, and you can just see it go.
I don't really like how you're using your hands in your format. I know what you like to do with your hands. What's your holding?
I don't know why I'm using 2 hands. I don't need that.
I like the honesty.
All right. Yeah, so Packers, Bears, anyway. It's Green Bay Game Day. We'll talk to Jason Wilde next. Alex Strofe, Ben Brust, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace with you. Green Bay Game Day rolls on right after this.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Buckle up. It's all systems go at Potawatomi. Plug in to High Wattage Play and you could win an all-electric BMW i7. Play now through September with your club card. Prize drawings on Thursdays. There's a shocking $800,000 in total prizes on the line, including the luxury BMW i7. It's time to electrify your drive. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More info at paysbig.com/BMW. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
To the best crew in baseball, this is for you. Join Brewers Fan Appreciation Weekend September 15th through the 17th. As a special thank you, enjoy buy one, get one beer on Friday the 15th. Gate giveaways all weekend, including 2024 Brewers ticket vouchers. And a Fan Appreciation Night William Contreras bobblehead giveaway on Saturday the 16th. Grab your seats at brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Brian, why are you stacking books on the floor?
I want to stand while I work. Standing desks are all the rage these days.
Well, it's a good thing that these desks move up and down. You did know that, right?
What? They do?
Yeah. We're not messing around here.
This is great. Now, only if I had a chair to swivel around in.
Do you just not pay attention to everybody else's desks?
Well, no wonder I'm not getting much done these days.
Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors, the official moving and furniture provider of GKB Milwaukee.
Are you looking for the perfect restaurant for your next night out? Then make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, your next dinner destination. Specializing in artisanal American cuisine, Aria features carefully prepared seasonal entrees along with a robust selection of craft cocktails, wine, and local beer. Join them on Sundays for the restaurant's famous trademark chicken, served family style with sides like mashed potatoes, goat cheese biscuits, and more. Make your plans today to dine at Aria. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com. That's aria@stkate.com.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Party people!
It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game. This is Green Bay Game Day, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Alex Strofe and Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin.
We are inching closer and closer to kickoff. The good vibes are rolling on. It's Green Bay Game Day. I'm Alex Strofe alongside the aforementioned Kyle Bruston Nortman, launching tomorrow on ESPN Wisconsin beginning at 2 o'clock. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Benny Brust with you, and it is officially party hour. It's the power hour. It's the Wildy hour. Joining us from Soldier Field, he is the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, our friend, our teammate, our hero, Jason Wildy, joining us from Soldier Field. Jason, what's good, my friend? How are you?
I am good, Alex. Yes, live from Soldier Field. I'm looking out over Lake Michigan. There's some sailboats out there. There's some sort of a festival that goes on right outside the stadium. I was hoping I'd see a bunch of our ESPN 1000 teammates, the home of the Bears, but so far I've only come across security and a few ushers. So hopefully I come across Waddle and Sylvie and the whole crowd at some point here today.
I'm sure you will. We got plenty of time to make that happen. You're with us till 2 o'clock, Jason. We won't keep you a whole lot longer than that, so you can go shake hands and kiss babies as you do. But we were just talking about...
That's what I do.
Yeah, it is what you do. And we were just talking, like Russell Wilson, you kiss babies. You're not running for public office, Jason. Let's reel it in. We were just talking about traffic, though. I know you were texting me that you were stuck in traffic. I hope you did not run into what I ran into on Friday, and that is I had to pee very bad.
We actually did. That was part of the
perfect
traffic challenge. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is have that double whammy. So we did stop at a Starbucks, and I feel like I've purchased enough Starbucks beverages that I felt no guilt whatsoever for just peeing and leaving.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do, though.
It is.
Not peeing and leaving. I've had to stop, and I've used the other one. But, I'll order a coffee or buy something, even if I don't have to drink or eat, in order to feel like I have justified to use the restroom.
Oh, man, I feel no guilt.
Really?
No guilt. Yeah, none. These companies make plenty of money. It's there. It's a public restroom for it. I mean,
I like when it's busier. Let me just say that. When,
when it's empty.
When it's empty and I'm walking, but they're like, hey, how can I help you? Oh, you can't. I just got to go use the restroom.
Because it would be inhumane for them to be like, sir, you got to get out of here.
Dude,
I've
been in McDonald's at truck stops where they have to give you a key in order to even get into the bathroom, and you need to purchase.
The last thing we want is a Delta flight full of diarrhea. Yeah, and Jason's ride to Soldier Field.
Very true.
So this Starbucks, you had to have a code to use the bathroom, but my travel companions were given the code by someone else in line, so we didn't have to get the code, so we didn't have to purchase a coffee.
Genius.
Which again, if it was a place that I'd never been before, that's fine. But Paula and the girls and I stop at Starbucks pretty much on every drive we make, and you guys know I make a lot of drives, so I felt no guilt whatsoever once I had the code, and it sure made it a lot easier to drive.
Like Matt LaFleur likes it?
That's how Matt LaFleur wants it. Yeah, exactly. And we'll see today, obviously, if this team comes out that way, or if they're so young, that hot urine will all be in a bunch of diapers because of how young this team is.
Yeah, and Jason, I like that. I want to start there because I think this is a big game, not just because it's week 1, not because it's the Bears. It's because it's the first game without Aaron Rodgers, and we get to see what the the building of the new identity is, because the identity has been Aaron Rodgers, and Matt LaFleur and this team they have a chance to develop this. How do you see this game playing out from a Matt LaFleur perspective?
Yeah, I think there are so many fascinating aspects to this game, and you guys know that we've talked, whether it's on Sunday Karma Kyle with Craig, or when Nortman, which I certainly hope with the fabulous new show, Brad is still carving out opportunities to be a cousin sub for all the days that Tausch misses, or on the old Scalzo and Brust, which we're going to miss. But, I'm excited for you guys, but I know all three of you and Strofe have all heard me talk about how this is the season that more than any other, and this is year 28, right? My first year was 96. They went to the Super Bowl. I was 24 years old. I thought that's what you did every year. Obviously, I learned that was not the case through some down years, but not very many. And now I'm fascinated to see what this story arc and what this team's trajectory will look like with a new quarterback, with so many young players on offense, and a defense that returns more or less everyone except Adrian Amos and a couple of older defensive linemen, and one that didn't live up to its expectations last year. So I'm really eager. I've never looked forward to an opener more than I have this year, because I'm sick and tired of trying to project, well, what is Jordan Love going to be when the games count? We will have a game today in which we will find out what he is in a game that counts. And to your question, Ben, about Matt LaFleur, look, Matt LaFleur, I'm not sure there was anything that irritated him more throughout the offseason and during training camp than the narrative of, well, now Matt LaFleur gets to run his version of this offense.
It wasn't having him sign my jersey?
I don't remember that. That was that smaller story, and I wasn't following it. He has constantly said, look, I don't know where that comes from. This is our offense. We built it together. But the bottom line is, Jordan Love isn't going to change plays at the line of scrimmage that aren't built into the play call the way Aaron Rodgers did. Aaron Rodgers had such an encyclopedic knowledge and such a experience level that he had the ability to see something and change it there, and guys had to adjust to it. Some guys adjusted better than others. And with such a young group, I don't want to say that it's going to be paint by numbers, but they're going to have to run the plays the way they've been called, because not only is Jordan Love a first-time starter or first-year starter, but all the guys around him are varying degrees of inexperienced. And they're going to have Romeo Doubs today. He played 48% of the snaps a year ago. They're not going to have their other most experienced wide receiver in Christian Watson, who played 46% of the snaps a year ago. They are going to start with multiple rookies on the field for their first offensive play, and I'm really eager to see how they handle that type of inexperience. Guys making their NFL debuts, Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, Ben Sims, Dontavion Wicks. Like, they are just so young that it's really going to be fascinating to see if this offense is schemed in a way that it really is paint by numbers, and these guys will be able to play fast with a simplified approach.
The Wildy Hour here on Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe, Ben Brust, Brad Nortman, and Kyle Wallace with you. Wildy, you're right. I mean, we've been hypothesizing for months and months and months. This is really the last opportunity you get to do so before you have tangible evidence of exactly what is Jordan Love as a starter. We'll continue to hypothesize and project and guess and predict with Jason Wildy. Coming up next, it's Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history, Stadium Swim. 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Located at Circa Resort and Casino, open 365 days a year, and it will be the place to be for Green Bay's first ever visit to Las Vegas. Plus, the ESPN Wisconsin team will be live on site. Book your stay today at circalasvegas.com. That's circalasvegas.com.
What advice would you give somebody that you know that's window shopping?
I'd have to say Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level in the replacement game. They came in ahead of time, measured all the windows, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, You had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window. They're great professionals, Gina, and some of the best in the world at what they do.
Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window or $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today. Pella's team of expert installers start with an in-home consultation and finish with no hassle or mess, leaving nothing but perfect results that stand the test of time. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, pay as low as $19 per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, there's no such thing as an uphill battle. With a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. Because with impressive towing capability, an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen, and the choice of powerful engines to pick from, whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado with the capability you need. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit ForwardHealthyLifestyles.com for a free consultation.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Green Bay Game Day rolls on live at ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strofe, Ben Brust, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace, and Jason Wilde with you. Wilde not at the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in Milwaukee where we are. He is down at Soldier Field in Chicago preparing for Jordan Love's really first real start, we'll call it, as the guy for the Green Bay Packers. And we were kind of talking in the break, Jason. We don't know what the heck to expect today with Christian Watson out. With the offense, it looked good in preseason, but how much stock can you put into that? I have no idea what to expect today, which is really, really strange being a Packers fan at 24 years old because all I'm used to is, hey, I expect we're going to win every game.
24 years old. I've been on the beat longer than you've been alive. Thank you for pointing that out. By the way, I'm standing in this hallway. Soldier Field does not have a great, space. I can't do this at my seat in the press box because I'd be annoying everyone because they'd only hear half the show and they'd be missing the best part from you four. But on top of that, I'm standing in this hallway where the last time that I stood in this hallway for this long was when Brian Urlacher was dating Paris Hilton, and she walked right by me when I was on the radio.
Ooh.
And I have to say, I did a very bad job of whatever I was in the middle of saying. I think it was on Sunday. It would have been the football show back then. I'm pretty sure I lost my train of thought entirely. And now I've got a big, food cart coming toward me that's about to run me over.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what's going to happen, but bottom line, I'm with you. I don't know what to expect. And that's, in some ways, really exciting. I just wonder how exciting that will remain if what we start to get is struggles and growing pains and losses and ineffective offensive play and a defense that, once again, doesn't live up to expectations. I have no idea what's going to happen this year. I've said I picked them to go 6-11. I've said I see a path that they could win a few games that I wouldn't expect them to, and they're going to be 9-8. I don't see them being so bad that they're 3-14 and in contention for the number one overall pick, unless they have a slew of injuries. But I know there's some folks that have picked them to go 10-7 and be winning the division, and I will be surprised if that occurs. But you're right. None of us know what exactly is around the corner here.
Yeah, and Jason, obviously heading into the game today, Christian Watson's out. It's reported that Romeo Dobbs will be on a pitch count. But we've been going around, we were talking, what are you more worried about, wide receiver, tight end? And when we heard from Rob Domofsky, he pointed out that Matt LaFleur is actually more worried about the tight end position. Where are you landing at that?
Yeah, so Rob and I both asked LaFleur questions during the week about tight end and the challenges, and I juxtaposed it against the fact that the Bears have two of the guys that you could have easily still had on your team, on their team now, right? I understand Robert Tonyan did not have a season last year like he had in 2020, the year before he tore his ACL in Arizona in 21, but he still caught 55 balls. And we all know what Mercedes Lewis can do as a blocker and as a veteran presence. And they chose, even though neither one of those guys signed big contracts with the Bears, they chose not to bring him back. So whether Matt LaFleur, who was very vocal about wanting Mercedes Lewis on this team and was ignored by the general manager on that, will say it publicly or not, that's why he's nervous. Because these are three, right? Because they added a guy named Ben Sims who was cut by the Vikings. He's an undrafted rookie free agent. They've got Tucker Kraft, and then they've got Luke Musgrave. They're all rookies. They've got Josiah DeGuara still on the team. He's more of a fullback. He can play tight end still. That's his original position. But it is we've heard Chewy talk about it on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We've heard LaFleur talk about it. Tight end is such a hard position to play well as a rookie. Luke Musgrave is a stud. Athletically, physically imposing. Seems like a really smart guy in terms of his football IQ. His dad and uncle both played at Oregon. His dad played his uncle played in the NFL and has been a coach for a long time. But he's still a rookie who played 2 games for the Oregon State Beavers last year. I would expect growing pains for him. I would expect mistakes for him. He may someday be Gronk, but I don't think today is that day. And we'll all find out together what he's able to do in his NFL debut.
Jason, we expect growing pains for this team. Well, you kind of talked about who we don't have. And so when we look at this season, you said 6-10 is the season that you expect them to have. 6-10 is 6-11. That's a losing season. And so can you tell me exactly what are we looking for out those 6 wins, out those 17 games they play that make you feel confident that, okay, this year we're just gearing up to get better for 2024. What is it that you hope to see this season?
Well, and Kyle, let's be honest, the general manager, Brian Gutekunst, has talked about the things that are important about this season, right? He's come out and flat out said that Mercedes Lewis would make them better this year had they brought him back. But young players need room to grow. And if you have veteran players in front of them, they don't play as much. That does not sound like the mentality of we're in it to win it this year. We've heard Matt LaFleur talk more about how it's about the process, not about the outcomes. So they have dropped the breadcrumbs about this being 6-11, 7-10. And again, maybe it's a great surprise. Maybe there's Seattle last year that trades away their franchise quarterback, still manages to go 9-8, and makes the playoffs. That would be an amazing story, and I'm here for it if that occurs. But when I look at this team, I look at a defense that was supposed to be good last year and wasn't. Will they be good this year? Maybe. Again, I still don't believe that they're going to be able to stop the run until they prove to me that they're capable of doing that. On offense, I think if Jordan Love continually progresses, if their offensive line stays healthy and gives him time to throw, if the Matt LaFleur system, like the Kyle Shanahan system and like the Sean McVay system, creates enough open wide receivers to make Jordan Love's job easier, I think they've got a chance to be effective on offense as the season wears on. But again, I don't think the Bears are any good either, right?
Yeah.
They're in a rebuilding process themselves. So, what are they? A 7-10 team, a 6-11 team? They were 3-14 last year, and yet they talked about how they'd found their quarterback. Now, I would argue that with the number 1 overall pick, if Caleb Williams or Drake May had been at the top of the draft instead of the guys that were at the top of the draft this year, maybe they wouldn't have been quite as convinced about Justin Fields. So, again, it is such a wild card of a season, such a year that we don't know what to expect. And I hear a lot of people talking about them being better than 6-11, which I acknowledge is a distinct possibility. But they talk about it not because of what they believe in the Packers. It's that, well, the NFC is bad. And the NFC North, nobody's good at it, right? And I would, for as long as I've covered this team with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, it's hard for me to think in terms of okay, I don't think the Packers are going to be very good, but I think everybody else is so bad that they could have a good record.
Yeah.
It just seems so foreign to me to think that way.
It's a strange year, and we were talking about it a bit earlier. Like, I'm not fully bought in on the Lions still, even after a win on Thursday night. So we will see. It's going to be a weird year, and I'm excited to get into it a little bit more coming up next on the other side with Jason Wilde live at Soldier Field. It's Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe, Ben Brust, Brad Nortman, and Kyle Wallace with you. 2 guys on snap counts today, one on the defense, one on the offense for the Packers. We'll ask Wilde which of those guys, Romeo Doubs or Rashawn Gary, will make the bigger impact in week number 1. That's coming up next. It's Green Bay Game Day.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service.
It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey.
Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Hi, it's John Reeds from Great Midwest Bank. An Alzheimer's diagnosis can be devastating and alienating. That's why we're teaming up with the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter to let you know about the important resources they offer the community. If you have questions about Alzheimer's or other dementia, call their helpline at 800-272-3900. Any day, anytime, free of charge. The Alzheimer's Association provides support groups to both patients and family members. They can also connect you with other people who know what you're going through. Education programs are available for caregivers both virtually and in person. You don't have to face this disease alone. You have the Alzheimer's Association by your side. The helpline phone number again, 800-272-3900. And visit greatmidwestbank.com to learn more about GMB's commitment to community and our Simply Giving mission.
The key slides into the ignition. The engine rumbles to life. My hand grips the throttle. New gear for my ride. The road, my invitation. The sound, the smell, the exhilaration. I am one with the bike, and the car in front of me suddenly turns in my lane. Motorcycles are everywhere, but too often go unnoticed. Please, always look twice, be alert, and share the road with motorcycles at all times. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
The end of one era on ESPN Milwaukee means the start of a new one. It's Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every weekday from 2 to 5, followed by the Homer Hour from 5 to 6. The debuts happen September 11th right here on 94.5 ESPN. You're listening to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Oh, yeah, it's game day. Green Bay Game Day, that is, on ESPN Wisconsin. I'm Alex Strofe alongside KBN. Coming to weekday afternoons. Tomorrow, big debut. It's birthday week for Brad Nortman. He gets to kick it off with his new afternoon drive show on ESPN Wisconsin. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust with me. And all the way down at Soldier Field, we are a nationwide show. Jason Wilde with us as well. Jason.
Pretty regional, if you ask me.
You know what? I didn't ask you.
We have the Wisconsin On Demand app. Stop that, Ben.
Yeah, you're right. I thought he was talking about where we were.
Hilsey's texting us from Seattle.
No, I know.
I want you to shut up. Would you shut up? Please shut up. All right, thank you. Rashawn Gary on a snap count on the defensive side of the ball, but he will play today in Chicago, Jason. That's big news. Romeo Doubs, the top receiver on the depth chart, also on a bit of a pitch count. dealing with that hamstring injury. Which of those guys do you think is more important to the team's success today down in Chicago in week number 1?
First of all, it's a fabulous question, and you guys are all doing a great job regionally, nationally, internationally. I'm just happy to be a small part of it. Secondly, I talked to Rashawn Gary for a couple of minutes in the locker room on Thursday, and he is very eager. And I have to say his comeback has been really impressive because, quite frankly, after what David Bakhtiari has been through, which is a lot, I started to think, maybe I've taken ACL comebacks for granted because they aren't the career-threatening injuries they were early in my career. And then David Bakhtiari came along and had some real setbacks. Well, at the other end of the spectrum has been Rashawn Gary. He was back on the field 274 days after he was injured in Detroit on November 6th of 2022. And he is going to play today. The question was never whether or not he was going to play. Matt LaFleur immediately said that he was going to be on a pitch count, which if you're on a pitch count, it means you're playing some pitches, right? And so I think that's huge for this defense. I think this defense was completely different when it had him. They had to blitz more after they lost him in Detroit. I don't think they have anyone who is anywhere close to as good of a pass rusher as he is. As much as fans are probably excited about Lucas Van Ness, I think he's going to have a very limited role, if any, today. J.J. Enagbare is probably their second best rusher.
Is that how you say that? How did you just say his last name?
So it's definitely Enagbare.
And it's not Barre?
It's not Barre. I thought it was.
I'm not going to lie. It sounds funny.
Enagbare. I don't know. I just call him JJ because his favorite show growing up was JJ the Jet Plane, and it's a heck of a lot easier than any of that. And he likes to be called that. So if he demanded to be called by his last name, I would certainly figure it out. But my point is that I don't know what we're going to see from Preston Smith this year. He led them in sacks a year ago. He's a year older. I think he's a guy that they still rely on. But I think the guy that tilts the field is Rashawn Gary. So having him back will be huge. I would also say this, though, when you are where they are at wide receiver, it's a pretty close call because beyond Romeo Doubs, the next most experienced wide receiver they will have out there that's not making his NFL debut will be Samori Toure, who played exactly 112 offensive snaps a year ago.
Woof.
So that is the football team that this team has put together. That is what Goody wants, and we'll see how effective they can be.
Jason, staying on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Brad Nortman.
Hey, Jason, how you doing? It's good to hear from you. I'm glad that you're our boots on the ground here.
I'm glad you're participating.
As am I. I'm tagged in finally. Hey, on the defensive side of the ball, there's been a lot of discussion on this new look defense, same personnel but new look. But there's an interesting challenge today in Chicago. They have a new face as well with more Claypool Mooney, an improved Justin Fields. What do you think is the greater challenge facing this Green Bay Packer defense for Fields specifically? Do you think it's his legs or his arm with these new wide receivers? And where do you think they focus on trying to contain him, his legs or his arm?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how good he is throwing the football because he had probably his most complete game of the season in a game they lost against the Packers last year, right? And the second time that the teams met. Look, he runs the ball like a running back. He certainly has all the arm talent and all the arm strength that you look for. But DJ Moore is a legit one. I have a friend who works for the Carolina Panthers, and he swears by DJ Moore as being one of the most underrated top-flight number one wide receivers in the league. I mean, he's had 1,000 yards every year the last, 4 or 5 years? I mean, he's a stud. And so I'm eager to see what that looks like. I'm also eager to see if what Jair Alexander told us actually comes to fruition or if he's trying to speak it into reality and manifest it. Because remember a year ago at this time, the Packers go to Minneapolis. Justin Jefferson has an enormous game. And what is Jair Alexander talking about afterward? I thought I was going to be traveling with Justin Jefferson, and that was not the game plan, so we didn't do that. And he was ticked. And by the time they played the Vikings again late in the year, he was traveling with Justin Jefferson, and while I don't think it was all Jair's defense, Justin Jefferson had one catch, and the Packers won like 41-17. So I'm really eager to see if DJ Moore is going to have Jair Alexander following him everywhere. I'm really eager to see, and I'm sure Bears fans and all of our teammates at ESPN 1000 are very curious to see what kind of strides Justin Fields has made as a passer. But that's just another layer to this game. Every year the opener is full of uncertainty, right? I mean, you knew what you got with Aaron Rodgers, but quite frankly, did any of us on the panel think they were going to get their butts kicked in each of the last two openers?
No.
38-3 in New Orleans. Obviously, last year the game wasn't as close as 23-7 made it look. So that's built in, and coaches talk all about unscouted looks, right? I mean, even in the special teams game, Brad, you heard that during your time playing.
That's
so
right.
I'm eager to see all these things because I don't think I've ever felt the level of uncertainty, even allowing for the uncertainty that comes with any type of season opener. This is off the charts because it's both teams. It's both teams that we need to learn about. The Bears, I think only 2 of the 7 guys, I heard this coming in, only 2 of the 7 guys that started for them last year in their front 7 are even in the league, and none of them are still on the team. I take that back. The one that's still on the team is Justin Jones, the guy who popped off during the week about how he was going to be delivering the beatdown.
Yeah,
they literally mortgaged couple guys, Roquan Smith and then Robert Quinn last year in the middle of the season.
Total rebuild for Chicago's defense. But speaking, of the Packers defense, Jason, I know former President George W. Bush struggled through this one, so I'm going to do my best. Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm willing to take the blame for my unwavering belief in this Packers defense to rebound in 2023, Jason. Joe Barry has given me every reason not to believe in him, but here I am, and I've told you all week I'm kind of in delusional mode as we lead up to the opener. But I do have faith in this defense in 2023 because if the Packers are going to be better than that 6-11 mark you have them at, this defense is going to have to help them win games, and I think they have the ability to do so when you at least rule out the safety position.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but the problem is that other than Adrian Amos, how different are they from a year ago, right? I mean, obviously Eric Stokes is still coming back from his foot injury. They've got Rashawn Gary, who didn't finish the season last year. Otherwise, they've swapped out a couple of young defensive linemen for the old ones that they let walk in free agency. But, out of all due respect to President Bush, you shouldn't fool people, right? That's how he says it. It's fool me twice. You shouldn't fool people. And they definitely fooled us last year. There was, I like to tease my friend Mina Kimes about saying that this is going to be the second-rate defense in the league. 15th, as it turned out, right? And so
surprised it was top half, to be honest with you.
Right, and I think that this is I don't think it's at all unreasonable to go into this year with Joe Barry and largely the same cast of characters and say, hey, you guys might be good, but I'm not going to pick you to be good. You're going to have to prove it to me. Faith is defined as belief in things unseen. That's my Lutheran upbringing, right? So my faith is based on things unseen when it comes to this defense, because they certainly didn't show you enough that you can say, oh, here's the miracle that Joe Barry turned 2 inside linebackers into a dominating defense. And I don't have the evidence. And if they turn out to be good, if they turn out to live to the expectations that were put on them a year ago, then that gives Jordan Love and this team a hell of a lot better chance to win more games than on 6.
Jason, so here's the big thing is that when we look at the Packers, we talk about youth, right? So player development-wise, you've been around this organization, as you just said, for 28 years. In player development recently, I feel like the Packers have done a pretty good job of developing some of the guys that they put on their team. You look at a Kenny Clark, who developed into a great player. We look at Quay Walker last year, who is still growing as a player but had over 100 tackles. Rashawn Gary, Jair Alexander. It seems like the Packers do a pretty decent job of player development. So do you think the Packers have what it takes to be able to develop this team, these young players, be able to take that next step?
Well, there are some guys that you left off that list, right, that need to develop. Devontae Wyatt, the second of their 2 first-round picks a year ago. was not very good last year. He was not ready to play.
Did he get better though as the season went on, Jason? Like at the end of the year?
He flashed a little bit at the end of the year, and you hope that that's a harbinger of things to come from him. It's also worth pointing out that one really hot day that we had for training camp, the only player that dropped out of practice was Devontae Wyatt. He needs to be in better condition, right?
Come on, he's playing Georgia. He should be trained for that.
True.
That's a fair point. Eric Stokes obviously is still coming back from the injury. Another first-round pick in Darnell Savage was benched late last season. And if he didn't have a $7.9 million guaranteed contract for his fifth-year option as a first-round pick in 2019, do you think he'd be on this roster?
They literally moved him away from the safety position at the end of the year to play in the slot.
So as I look at this team, yes, Kyle, they have developed some good players, but everyone likes to talk about, they've got 8 first-round picks on defense. They do, but your draft status, once you're on the roster, nobody cares. Now, Tausch will tell you, and Brad, you know this as well, when you're a low-round pick, like Tausch was a 7th-round pick, you have to continually prove that you belong. When you're a first-round pick, you have to prove to them that you no longer belong. You're going to get extra chances. And so, again, we'll see. I think Rashawn Gary was on the cusp of being an elite-level pass rusher in this league when he got hurt. I would have loved to have seen what his season would have looked like had he not gotten hurt in Detroit. I think Jair Alexander is a very good corner. I think his reputation is very high. He has, to me, you'd like to see him play like he did in the 2020 NFC Championship game when they squandered his 2 interceptions of Tom Brady. I think Kenny Clark is a very nice player, but no one's going to confuse him with Aaron Donald. Now, the idea with Kenny Clark is that he's no longer going to have to line up head up on the nose, and so maybe if he's in a different spot in the defensive line and they move him around like they plan to, he's going to be more impactful. If that occurs, if Quay Walker, as they've kind of hinted but haven't flat out said, is moving around their defensive alignment and can create some mismatches with his length and athleticism, then he's got a chance to be a field tilting player too. Again, these are all possibilities. Let's see what actually happens, because fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Can't get fooled again. Can't get fooled again. Jason Wilde with us live from Soldier Field. Here's what I want to do coming up next, is we have about 15 minutes left to spend with Wilde. He's known for being very short-winded, soft-spoken. That's Wilde. That's how we know him as. So let's play into that a little bit. I want each of us to come up with a yes or no question for Wilde that we will ask him on the other side. Suggestions more than welcome on the text line, 800-990-3776. Short-spoken Wilde. Coming up next, it's Green Bay Game Day.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Spectrum TV customers, you have lost access to Disney's unrivaled portfolio of live sports on ESPN, like college football and Monday Night Football, live sports and news coverage, plus kids, family, and entertainment programming, all gone. Take action now and tell Charter you want your networks back. Go to keepmynetworks.com to learn more.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab Game Day Eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar, or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the Endless Summer Sale, September 1st through the 11th, and get 30% off paints and stains with prices starting at $31.14. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, where vintage racing lives on. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2023 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The Aaron's Art of Wheels Vintage Weekend wraps up the 2023 Road America race season September 15th through the 17th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Hey, little lady, I know you're feeling crazy. All your other friends are busy making them babies. Been out in the
Green Bay Game Day rolls on live on ESPN Wisconsin. Alex Strofe with KBN. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust with you. Jason Wilde also with us at Soldier Field in Chicago. We're going to play a little game with Wilde, as I was poking fun at him before for being super short-spoken and short-winded. We're going to each ask him a yes or no question. Wilde will either agree or disagree with us, yes or no, as we fly through these as we wrap up our time with our friend Jason Wilde down at Soldier Field. All right, I'll kick things off, Jason. Yes or no, true or false, however you want to take it. Romeo Doubs is the player with the most approved for the Packers today, not named Jordan Love.
First of all, am I wrong? I'm not an expert in radio, but yes or no answers?
Yeah, I was going to jump in and say, Jason, when I ask mine, I want you to expand upon the yes or no.
True or false? Is that better radio? 1 or 0? R.I.P. Scalzo
We
Brust.
say 1 or 0, but we have to give a strong opinion once we say 1 or 0.
Well, I don't want him to just say yes. I would like him to expound.
Well, that's what we're saying.
That's not what you said.
That's not what you said earlier. Jason and I want Jason to give his opinion after he gives the answer.
I want an opinion. I just don't want each opinion to be very long-winded, Wilde, like you tend to do sometimes.
No. The answer is no. He is not after Jordan Love, the one with the most to prove. I would say Luke Musgrave, and they're counting on him today. I'm really eager to see what kind of day he has. No, I would say Luke Musgrave, not Romeo Doubs.
Go ahead, Ben Brust.
I got a bunch of them, but I'll start here. Jordan Love will outplay Justin Fields today.
No, but I think it'll be close.
Brad Nortman.
How's that for concise?
You're doing a great job. If Benny's got more, then we can do more.
Okay, how about this one? For the whole season now, Justin Fields is under more pressure to perform than Jordan Love.
Oh. Yes. Yeah, he's in his third year as the starter. Jordan Love's in his first. His contract would indicate they are planning on this being a 2-year audition for him, but he has to show meaningful improvement throughout the course of the year. There's no doubt about that.
Kyle Wallace.
The Bears fans are more concerned about Jordan Love being good today versus actually winning the game.
That's a really great question.
That's a great question.
No, although I don't have the level of exposure to Bears fans that Waddle and Sylvie and those guys do. I would just say this. They're much more worried about Jordan Love turning out to be good, but I do think that they want their quarterback to be good and they want to win games. And then if Jordan Love turns out to be okay, I don't think they're I don't want to speak for them. I'll stop there.
Bonus Benny.
Anders Carlson will miss a field goal or extra point today.
Oh. Had to pick on the specials.
No. He will make 2 extra points and a field goal, and they will lose 24-17.
Oh, we get a score prediction in. Jason, the reason I'm poking fun at you is we still have one segment left with you, and I wanted to give you some real estate to give us your final thoughts and observations from Soldier Field. Is that okay?
God, you're a pro.
Well, apparently I'm not, because we were like the Packers offense. We were working out the kinks there until the very last minute in that segment. But I think we did a good job. I thought that was fun.
Just roll with it.
I think we should do this every week.
Jason, you like it? Was that good?
I love it.
All right, we'll do it again. We'll do it again.
It needs something catchier than short-winded, though.
Okay, we'll work on that. Concise and to the point and direct.
To the point with Jason Wilde. Sure, I like that.
And a little ode to Stevens Point, my alma mater. I like what we're doing now. This is perfect.
You just did it on the air.
This is unbelievable. All right.
We got a lot of UW people here. We got Madison, Stevens Point, Whitewater. You're going, oh, no, you're it's all UW.
What do you mean?
I just wanted to throw you on
Dingus?
I don't know what the hell's happening, but we'll get final observations and thoughts from Jason Wilde at Soldier Field. Coming up next, it's Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe, KBN with you.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history, Stadium Swim. 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Located at Circa Resort and Casino, open 365 days a year, and it will be the place to be for Green Bay's first ever visit to Las Vegas. Plus, the ESPN Wisconsin team will be live on site. Book your stay today at circalasvegas.com. That's circalasvegas.com.
Football fans, tailgating season is here, and if you want to win at tailgating, you need to Boatify your beverage choice. Box wine is the ultimate addition to your tailgate party. This premium wine comes in a box, so it fits perfectly in your cooler or trunk, and there's no heavy glass or corkscrew to deal with. One 3-liter Box is equivalent to 4 regular bottles of wine, so it's great for sharing. Bring the wine that wins with wine critics, Box. This is how we Boda. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Box Vineyards, Manteca, California.
What advice would you give somebody that you know that's window shopping?
I'd have to say Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level in the replacement game. They came in ahead of time, measured all the windows, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window. They're great professionals, Gina, and some of the best in the world at what they do.
Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window or $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today. Pella's team of expert installers start with an in-home consultation and finish with no hassle or mess, leaving nothing but perfect results that stand the test of time. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, pay as low as $19 per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. If you're in the market for a full-size 8-passenger SUV, look no further than the Defender 130. And with the Defender 90, the 110, and this 130, there's luxury in the right size for everyone.
Plus, when you buy or lease from Fields, you'll automatically become a member of the Fields Amenities Program with complimentary loaners, car washes, our cafe and gourmet coffee bar, and much more. All at no charge at Land Rover Waukesha. LandRoverWaukesha.com.
Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
This is Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Are you listening? Whoa. Sing it back.
Green Bay Game Day rolls on live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the 3rd Street Market Hall in Milwaukee. I'm Alex Strofe alongside KBN. Kyle Brust, Nortman debuts tomorrow, 2 o'clock on ESPN Wisconsin. And our savvy vet is still with us, Jason Wilde, down at Soldier Field in Chicago. Jason, I'm just going to give you the floor, my friend. We've got you for just a few more minutes. I know the inactives came out, so if you want to shine some light, any surprises there. But your final thoughts and observations as you predict a 24-17 Bears win.
No surprises, as expected. We already knew Christian Watson was ruled out. We knew Romeo Dobbs was going to be on a limited snap count. He is active, though, so that is good news that they will have at least one player who at least played in the league last year extensively at wide receiver. The other inactive, Sean Ryan, Caleb Jones, Brenton Cox, Zane Anderson, Anthony Johnson Jr., and Emmanuel Wilson. So Wilson, who made the team as the third running back, inactive. Patrick Taylor, who was called up from the practice squad and is a much better special teams player, is active. So Wilson inactive, Taylor active. Look, you guys, we talked about it. I know you want to be on time on your first Green Bay game day. It's going to be a fascinating day, and I can't wait till about 6:30 and get ready to join, Green Bay game night to talk about what we saw, because I don't know what to expect today, but boy, it is refreshing. It is different, and different is fun. We'll see how long different is fun based on how many times these guys can win this year.
No doubt about it. Different is fun. Jason, you're the best, buddy. Have fun today. We'll listen to you on Green Bay game night tonight.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Oh, I love when he hits it with that.
Hits the post every time.
Are you going to come up with a catchphrase at any point?
I'm just going to go. So whatever happens is going to happen. I can tell you that much.
Nordy?
I'm still working.
I feel
on
like
it.
you're a catchphrase guy.
I would love a good catchphrase. I would love one.
Shazam!
I've been workshopping some.
Is that one of them?
No.
You've been workshopping some.
Well,
can we hear
mentally.
one as you bring us to break?
Nope, they're not ready.
What do you mean they're
for
not
live air.
ready?
I mean, by workshopping, I mean I've thought about it for about 5 minutes and nothing good came from it. So
okay. Well,
but
I like
hey,
to let things happen organically on air.
The best things happen that way. Organically.
Sometimes, like a yes or no segment with Jason Wilde. Super organic and terrific, right?
Yeah, there was no comment.
You're a Richard. All right. Well,
what? You've never heard that? That's the best way to call somebody a Richard.
What's so the name Richard?
Oh,
come on!
I thought he said something else, but okay, all right, cool.
All right, we are humming along here on Green Bay Game Day. 2 hours in the can. We're on to
I will
hour
definitely
3.
call you a Richard at some point on our show. Now you're ready.
I would have been confused at first, like, huh?
I'm glad we worked out the kinks here.
Yeah, we're doing a great job. We'll take a look at some of the scores around the league as well as continue to discuss Packers-Bears coming up at 3:25. That's next. It's Green Bay Game Day. Alex Stroh, KBN crew with you.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
For kids at the Salvation Army, a meal isn't just a meal. It's fuel for imagination, determination, and dreams. It's energy to be role models, change makers, and to just be kids. With your gift to the Salvation Army, a full meal is provided to a child, which leads to a full heart, a full night's sleep, and a future full of possibilities. Donate to the Salvation Army today, and you'll show local kids love beyond hunger at samilwaukee.org. That's samilwaukee.org.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, there's no such thing as an uphill battle. With a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. Because with impressive towing capability, an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen, and the choice of powerful engines to pick from, whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado with the capability you need. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Bring friends and watch your favorite team compete on big screens. Grab Game Day Eats in T. McSee's Sports Bar or celebrate your team's victory in Horizon's Steakhouse. To book your game time at the Island Resort and Casino, call 800-682-6040 today.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Party
It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game. This is Green Bay Game Day, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Alex Strofe and Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin.
Green Bay Game Day, week number 1. Packers-Bears coming up in about an hour and a half. You can watch that game on Fox. America's Game of the Week, the new era of Green Bay Packers football led by the future Hall of Famer Jordan Love. I'm Alex Strofe alongside the KBN crew, debuting tomorrow, 2 o'clock. It's Kyle Wallace, it's Ben Brust, it's Brad Nortman, the former NFL punter, with you today, leading you up to kickoff, getting ready for Packers-Bears, man. We've talked about it the last 2 hours, fellas. It's a weird year. It's going to be a fun year. It's the mysterious time to be a Green Bay Packers fan. It's so strange. I'm not used to this.
Aren't you excited?
I'm excited, but
anxious.
Anxious is probably a better word because I'm excited for something new and different. But if that is 4-13, of course I'm not excited. I'm so used to winning and being in Super Bowl contention. That's what I'm used to. I'm not used to, hey, we'll just see what happens. Your best receiver isn't playing today, and by the way, a guy that was a rookie last year's your number 1 guy. Like this just, I just feel like Jordan Love isn't set up for success, and I hope he proves me wrong.
Yeah, and a bad team can really, eliminate any sort of excitement really early. I mean, if we fast forward to October and they're dropping games left and right and it's ugly, I mean, I think we're gonna look back at those 30 years and go, whoa, we were missing out now.
I honestly think these first couple games are big with the bye week early, right? Like if you can, with a young team, Brad, you talked about the locker room aspect, right? This team seems pretty close. It seems like they all get along, right? And there's a little bit of that youth where like you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And if this team plays well and kind of vibes and gets off to a good start, you get to that bye week and everyone can take a big deep breath. But if you like losing can compound as well. Winning can compound as easy as losing can compound. And so if they get off to a bad start and get to week 4, everyone's going to be very on edge. Like the vibes of heading into the season, it's just like this is a critical first 4 weeks.
But the expectation, I don't know what you guys have, but when I look at it is, I know the first 5 games are some games that they're going to compete. And that's what I'm really looking for. Win or lose is not really what I'm about this season. It's about, are we taking a step in the right direction? And that's why I like to see a guy like Zach Tom starting, because I have a lot of hopes that he could potentially be the starting right tackle for the Green Bay Packers. Maybe switch him over to left. We don't know what's going to happen eventually when Davey Bakhtiari leaves, but you're excited about that. I'm even excited about guys like Carl Brooks and Wooden and Lucas Van Ness, because if they take steps in the right direction, it makes me confident about the future. And that's what's great about being a Packers fan now for me, is because before we had so many high expectations of being a team that was picked to win the Super Bowl. It feels nice to be able to be like, all right, let's see how we can build ourselves up.
No.
Jordan Love has sat for 3 seasons behind Aaron Rodgers. And so I'm excited because I think he's ready. And so there should be some excitement. Strofe, I know you were a kid back in 2008, 2009.
You
when
can't
the Packers
sit here and tell me, be like, yeah, it's nice to be an afterthought.
No.
It's awesome.
Strofe,
it's awesome to be the side chick, dude. It's great.
How many Super Bowl titles did we win being the main chick?
Obviously, 1. 2010 is what you're referring to. They're under Aaron Rodgers.
This is how I know you're such a baby, is because of the fact you said 1. I would have said 2.
I thought we were referring to Aaron Rodgers.
I was doing the Pack Arena, so I'm going to include that in there.
So then 2 Super Bowls.
but this is what I'm saying, is that it's nice to be able to look at something and say, okay, we understand that this team is not going to be good, but at least we have hope thinking about what they could be in the future. And taking steps. We did not win Super Bowls, and we choked. Aaron Rodgers choked in the playoffs.
I get that.
We were not winning games.
I get that, but
it's nice to start over and see potentially, are we putting the pieces together to be a team that actually can win a Super Bowl?
I cannot comprehend saying it is nice to have low expectations. It is nice to be a bad team.
It sucks. It sucks come January, and I'm watching my Packers play, and then they lay an egg year after year after year after year. And that's why I think a lot of Packers fans were okay with moving on from Aaron Rodgers to see what we had in Jordan Love.
How are you going to let him keep talking like this?
I'm just ignoring
absurd mindset.
This is not absurd.
Correct.
What are y'all saying?
You've got 2 former athletes sitting right here.
You want to suck?
Brad,
you're okay sucking?
Here's what I was going to go to. Absolutely.
I'm I get so sad in watching my team lose in January. That's a good thing.
Correct.
That is a great thing that you are competing
good problem
in the
to have.
playoffs.
Do you all not watch sports?
Okay, Brad. I want to go to Brad Nortman here.
How many teams just all of a sudden pop out of the Warriors were bad for many years. They were great when they had Steph Curry right away. It took some time. And damn it, Jordan Love is our Steph Curry.
I hope you're right about that, but that's a horrible mindset to have. Brad, you were a part of a team in 2016, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were 3-13. Would you say that was an exciting season when your head coach got fired in Week 15? Was that fun for you?
No.
It was really fun to have low expectations, wasn't it?
Yeah,
time out. Wait a minute. Time out. You said what year?
2016.
Okay, what did y'all do a year before that?
Well, I was
year after.
Year after.
Year after that. Okay, well, development.
Yeah, even more so to your point. My one big fear would be, does Green Bay lose the culture of a winning mindset? That would be my big fear. If we take these steps just to be like, look, we're just trying to improve, but we accept losing, that would be a very scary thing. That's really hard
I feel
to
like you and I are doing a different show here.
No, I actually think Brad makes a good point. He's saying that
I'm saying, like,
if they struggle, right, all you've known for 30 years is winning, right? It's been draft and develop. You have the quarterbacks. You can build wide receivers in the third round. You can build offensive linemen through the draft. They've been able to do all that. That changes when you start losing. You start investing in different ways of building your team. You got to try and find the next quarterback. And that changes your entire world.
What if you lose close games in a way like you're like, oh, well, it was a close game.
Would you rather be making the playoffs and losing in January or being stuck in mediocrity for the next 15? Because that is a possibility.
But we don't know. You could have said that in 2008 when Aaron Rodgers only won 6 games. We don't know.
That you guys reach mediocrity than to go back to the ways of making the NFC Championship
Greatness
games.
doesn't last forever. We had this great run as an organization, as fans for so long. I understand how privileged I was. And so all I'm saying is this, is that if this team shows some type of potential where I can look to the future and say, this year sucked, but by my goodness, they competed this week and they won this game that week. I can be happy.
Kyle, that's not a given either, right?
So you want to win a title every year?
The Bears win. Oh, yes. What do you mean? Do I want to win a title every year?
That's
yes.
unrealistic. That's just
but
not
it
the case.
hasn't been for the last 3 years.
For who?
For the Packers.
We didn't win titles. We didn't win Super Bowls.
They were always in the conversation.
Are that
always in the conversation?
If my team loses year after year, I can be happy about being in the conversation, but at what point do we actually want to be the king of the league?
Always.
But we weren't.
We were always in the conversation, Kyle. We were in the conversation every single year. The expectation was Super Bowl or bust every year.
Maybe watching this team lose to the 49ers, you all talked about Devontae Adams. I'm still scarred from all the losses. I'm still scarred from when Brett Favre was freezing cold and threw an interception against the Giants in overtime. I'm still hurting from the Arizona game where Aaron Rodgers kicked the ball up in the air after he got sacked.
Rocky Balboa said it best,
I'm just
Kyle.
still hurting from it.
If you are going to protect your heart forever, that's on you, my friend. I can't help you with that, right? Rocky Balboa said it best. Are you going to get hit and get back up, or are you just going to lay there? You got to get back up after
Sounds
losing.
like Kyle's just laying there. Let's see how
I'm not laying there.
You know?
We just got hit 20.
Your girlfriend dumps you. Are you going to continue to? Are you going to continue to look for a new one or no?
Hey, I can't wait to see how this goes.
Sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? You keep getting hit and your ass keep getting knocked back down. Maybe I should find somebody that's going to get up and actually become a champion.
Yeah, you trust Goot to do that?
Well, we have some talent on this team. We're going to find out this year.
Jeepers,
We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Everyone loves the guy who says, well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
I don't know.
Hope is not a strategy.
Give me an opinion. Is this season going to work? Do you think they have the right people in place, the right coaches, the right talent?
I honestly believe this, is that I like what I see when it comes to the last couple draft class and the talent that I see on the field. That's why I keep talking about the young defensive line. I think they have something there. Quay Walker's going to be a good player. I like Zach Tom because I really feel like Zach Tom is going to be an anchor of this offensive line for years to come. I like the receiving core that we have. I love the tight ends that we have. And so I understand that all these guys are Strophy's age, and so I can't count on Strophy's age to beat a real NFL team. But what I see in the future is that this team has the pieces potentially, if they develop them well, to be a very good football team 2024 and beyond.
Everything that you just said may be fair about what you like, but none of it matters if 10 ain't the guy.
That's very true.
Unfortunately. 10's the guy.
I think so too.
Great. Ten's the guy. He got the jersey. I would buy the jersey if I wasn't so dang cheap, but Ten's the guy.
Hey, $19 on eBay, Kyle. $19 on
We'll
eBay.
find out.
Yeah, to quote him, we'll find out. We will continue to find out. I need to know if anybody else has this loser's mindset that Kyle Wallace is subscribing to.
Losers mindset.
What we not finna do here on YouTube on 94.5 ESPN 100.5 is call Kyle Wallace a loser. I am not a loser.
I didn't call you a loser. I said you have a losing mindset. Who doesn't have a losing mindset? Gruber Law Offices. Gruber Law Offices has a reputation for, Benny, winning.
I was going to say one call, that's all. That's the reputation as well.
That's also the reputation. I'm going to get to say that in a few minutes. It's going to be the best moment of my career. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There is never a fee until your case is won. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people in the state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Let's all say it together. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
Oh, my God.
Best moment of my career.
Beautiful.
Best moment of my career. I'm not topping that. We're going to try to do that for the next hour and a half, but I don't think we're topping that. More Green Bay Game Day next.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Check out our brand new Hyundai dealership, one of the largest in the Midwest.
Step inside of our state-of-the-art showroom where you can view our new Hyundai models and some of our finest certified pre-owned.
We've also expanded our service center, staffed by our factory-certified technicians.
And right next door, we've started construction on our all-new Genesis of Waukesha dealership.
But we're not just building walls, we're building careers.
So if you're looking for a career with great benefits and opportunity for growth, Boucher is the place for you.
At Boucher, we ride with you every mile.
The Bog in Saukville is Ozaukee County's best golf experience. 18 championship holes designed by the legendary golfer Arnold Palmer, settled amongst 250 acres of beautiful private land. The Bog caters to golfers of all skill levels, offering a golf experience unlike any other. Come enjoy the finest golf greens in Wisconsin, and after your round, enjoy a bite to eat in our restaurant or out on our new patio bar overlooking the 18th green. It's time to golf, Wisconsin. It's time to enjoy the Bog.
Ready to ride?
Just let me get my flip-flops on.
Whoa, Mom and Dad are going for a ride without their protective gear.
Quick, grab the checklist. I'll grab the gear.
Just where do you two think you're going without your safety gear?
Yeah, you know how we feel about riding without your gear.
Well, it's so nice out.
And we're only going for a short ride.
Not before you put all this gear on, you're not. But, riding pants?
Okay. Check.
Motorcycle boots?
Bye-bye, flip-flops.
Check.
Armored jackets?
Nice.
Check.
Riding gloves?
2 pairs.
Check.
Last but not least, full face helmets.
Check.
Now you're ready to ride.
And you look cool.
All the gear, all the time. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
Be home on time for dinner.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Unfiltered, shameless, and analytical. ESPN Milwaukee's next afternoon show is Kyle, Brust, and Northman. Weekdays from 2 to 5. And it debuts on Monday, September 11th at 2 o'clock, right here on 94.5 ESPN. Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Green Bay Game Day rolls on your Sunday afternoon. Alex Strofe, the KBN crew, giving you a little taste of what to expect weekdays afternoons 2 to 5, beginning tomorrow. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust, and Alex Strofe hanging out with you from the Gruber Law Offices studios in the 3rd Street Market Hall, downtown Milwaukee. Colin Russo holding things down for us back at the Everlight Solar Studio in Madison. 800-990-3776 is the phone number, 800-990-3776. Let's take a quick look at some scores around the league as we get into, I believe Scott Hansen calls it, Benny, the witching hour is what we're approaching. Is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be our own version of it.
All right, here we go. I'll lead things off. Fourth quarter.
Give us the football
Yeah,
music.
give us some music, Max. Actually, I can't do this dry. Hey-yo. Where's that button you like on Scal's own breast? That's what she said.
That's what she said.
All right, here we go. Fourth quarter, Panthers, Falcons in Atlanta. The Falcons, thanks to Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, are in the driver's seat. 17-10 your score. Falcons over the Panthers in the fourth quarter.
I would say the highlight there, Bryce Young, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions as you're looking at the first round number 1 overall selection. The most classic of AFC North games of all time. Browns-Bengals, 10-3 Browns. It's rainy. It's ugly. No one can move the ball. Deshaun Watson, 118 yards interception. They're giving the ball to Chubb. Bengals, after signing Joe Burrow, unbelievably slow start.
Slow start indeed. Deshaun Watson with a rushing touchdown in that one. The only touchdown in that one. The first of 2 former clubs for our punter, Brad Nortman. And one of them in the driver's seat. Jaguars lead the Colts 17-14. 2 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley, 8 receptions, 101, and a tutty for all you fantasy folks out there. A surpriser, but one that helps the Green Bay Packers early on. 17-10 as you had actually early in the fourth quarter. Buccaneers are up 17-10 against those Vikings. They are in the red zone, 3rd and goal. The Vikings are looking to tie that up 17-17. Kirky Cousins, 334. Goodness gracious. Justin Jefferson, 8 receptions, 143 yards. Wow. Just absolutely ridiculous with the whole fourth quarter to go.
Yeah, that's a fun one to keep an eye on. I will say, guys, and I don't know how you guys feel, there is no stranger new addition to a team for me to actually visualize and see than Baker Mayfield on the Bucs. It's such a weird look for me.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like he's supposed to be the Browns quarterback. Like, that's just how I know him.
Also, J.J. Watt in a suit is weird.
Even when he was at the Rams, it was weird.
Oh, yeah. People forget about that. Baker as a Ram. All right, we got a tie game in New Orleans. Saints, Titans tied up at 9.
Too much breath on that
no
one.
touchdowns, all field goals, 9-9 in that one.
And the most annoying team in the NFL, the 49ers, are just pummeling the Steelers 27-7. Mike Tomlin, usually known for bringing teams ready to play and matching energy, not so fast. Lee Corso, quoting you, 27-7 is just a disaster.
So is that update. Cardinals in front of the Commanders, 16-10. That's an upset alert. Nobody saw that one coming from Arizona. 16-10. They lead the Commanders in Washington, D.C.
And lastly, the Texans down 6-22. The other quarterback that a lot of people will be looking forward to, C.J. Stroud, 147 yards, but they are down 22-6.
Lamar Jackson, 124 through the air, 1 interception, 38 yards on the ground. Those are your scores at this time. We'll keep you posted as we get into the witching hour.
Who would have thought Anthony Richardson would look the best?
Yeah, right. Not me.
That's a shock.
He's actually been pretty efficient passing the football, had a red zone classic QB draw for a touchdown. So, yeah, we will keep you updated, but also we got to focus on what we got to focus on. Week 1 of Packers football. Bears-Packers. We're freaking here. Do you know how much time we've all spent?
Yeah.
Like as Jason Wilde said, just hypothesizing, guessing, what's it going to look like? When we're done talking, the next people you hear talk about this game in an open fashion on the Green Bay Game Day postgame show will be able to react to real football from the rookies, from the one second-year wide receiver, Christian Watson out. It's all happening. We're here.
Do we believe this could be a total disaster offensively, Brad? I think it could be a total disaster today.
It can.
I just, to your point, Benny, as we've predicted and hypothesized it and run through what we think might happen, I think something we really have lost in the shuffle is, yes, there's investment at pass catchers. As Kyle talked about a little bit earlier in the tight end room and the wide receiver room, there's investment. High draft picks. They've been bringing a lot of guys in. I just feel like Jordan Love might be in a position where he's not set up for success, especially at those positions.
I mean, the only saving grace is the great offensive line and good running game. I mean, we're going to have to really rely on that and just hammer that. And even if in the first quarter they load the box and you're not really getting much, you just have to keep on doing it. Because once the run game is stopped and you say, okay, Jordan Love, go win. Win with who? I mean, with these wide receivers and these tight ends, they are not in a position to succeed right now. And I just think you can't undervalue the lack of experience. I mean, that is just such a huge thing. And there's even just small nuances throughout the game of adjustments and body position, things that these guys have not learned yet. So I don't think it's going to be extremely ugly, but there's going to be growing pains throughout. And even just to go forward, like the conversation from last segment about, expectations and what we're looking for the season, a week one matchup in years past with Rodgers at quarterback, not that I didn't care less about week one, but you were so focused on December, January, February that week 1, week 5, whatever. It feels like every week, and specifically this week, that I am watching with intent, with a lot of intent, with a lot of value placed on how these guys are doing and how they're improving, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of discussion in January with this team.
I mean, one thing Craig talked about on Sunday Karma here on 94.5 ESPN, 10 a.m. to noon every Sunday.
You're on both stations. You can say ESPN Wisconsin on these very stations.
ESPN Wisconsin on these very stations. And so one thing he did say is he said that this game to him meant so much because he believes if the Packers won today, that this means they were actually a playoff contender. And I wholeheartedly disagreed that I don't think we should put that much into this game only because of the team that they're playing. I don't think it's impressive to go out there and beat the Bears. I mean, that's the expectation a lot of times in years past. And until this Bears team proves that they're actually a real competitor, I'm not too excited about beating the Bears. I'm just happy about, again, making progress.
So you're absolutely right, Kyle. Like, don't put too much stock into this, but I'm not going to listen to you, right? Like, you're absolutely correct. You're so right.
Logic says he's correct.
I am in full-blown delusion mode. I am going to think whatever happens today is what's going to happen in the next 16 games. That's just how my brain operates right now. It's week 1. There's so many questions. I don't know anything about this Packers team. I'm freaking out a little bit, if you can't tell. And, yeah, you're right. I probably shouldn't overreact. It's 1 week. They're going to have growing pains. They're going to figure some stuff out. They're going to be schemed against. They're going to be schemed for. And they're going to look better down the road than they will today. But I will not take it that way. That will not be my takeaway at 7 p.m.
If they
tonight.
get boat raced for a third year in a row, then I would be concerned because getting boat raced by the Saints is like, okay, all right. Getting boat raced by the Vikings, you're like,
but there's
okay,
a clear
right.
difference there,
yeah,
right? Everybody played in preseason.
Yeah, but you have Aaron Rodgers. Today, if you get boat raced, I would be concerned. I would be concerned if we lose 38-3 and the offense looks anemic and the defense can't stop anything and they make Justin Fields look like an MVP this year, then I would be very concerned. But I don't believe that is going to be the case today.
Yeah, that's been my next question, specifically to the Packer fans, right? Because we're talking about, hey, we're just growing. We're looking for 24, 25, 23 is not the year that we're going to make the big run. If they come out and really stink it up, is all those excitement, is that just gone in a flash? Is it one game of ugliness, and it's all of a sudden, you know what? We were totally wrong, Aaron Rodgers. We're so sorry. Like, how will you be feeling?
So I know Ben Bruss definitely is one he's a realist. Like, he'll look at things and he'll be a realist about it. If you were a Badger fan yesterday and you watched that game, did you or did you not want Jim Leonard back come the second half? Do you bring back Jimmy? Of course. So if things go terribly bad, we are going to panic because that's what we do here as fans.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually think because of everything that Aaron Rodgers did in terms of the way he left, I think Packer fans are so invested in Jordan Love being good that I actually think he's going to get a longer leash from the fans. And something that we've talked, Kyle, I've talked to Tori Lowe about. Tori Lowe from 101.7 The Truth is the biggest Packer fan I've ever met in my life. He's a black quarterback, and let's be honest, this is Wisconsin, and it's something that we've discussed in which he may have a shorter leash because of that. But I actually think opposite. I think the entire fan base of Packer Nation got so sick of Aaron Rodgers that they are so invested in Jordan Love to do good because he's done everything you can ask for in the offseason. He's been a good teammate. He's gone out with, all the wide receivers and some of the young teammates in Door County, right? He has embraced himself to the team, to the culture, and it's everything that Aaron Rodgers did not do on his way out. So even if week 1 does not go well for Jordan Love, I really do believe that fans are invested in seeing him be successful.
It's a really good take.
Yeah, no, you talked about that loser talk before. Listen, I got a leash for him. If the boy sucks, the boy sucks. I'm going to tell you this now. I'll be the first one to say it's time to move on because the way he played against Kansas City a couple of years ago, I was like, he ain't it. But he definitely looks better. But the brother only got 12 weeks.
Let's say, how long has he got?
He got 12
Thanksgiving?
weeks. Yeah, that's about good. Yeah, Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, if he sucks by Thanksgiving, it's just like he doesn't look like he's the guy. Then, we're talking about Caleb Williams. We're talking about Drake May. We're talking about who?
Really good quarterback.
Yeah, but you would, if by Thanksgiving you're trying to figure out if he's done or not, are you in a position to be getting the first-round pick. I mean, you're obviously hoping that you can pair it potentially with the Jets pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps.
I mean, if he sucks, if he doesn't suck, then we're not having that conversation.
But
by
my
week
point
12,
is,
you know if he sucks.
I was going to say, I think if he sucks, you might know before week 12.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So by that time,
and you might have enough losses because if Love sucks, this team is not winning a lot of football games. So you might have enough losses to be top 10.
But I think everyone's probably in an agreement that the expectation isn't for him to suck.
No,
not anymore.
I think we all agree the preseason certainly raised the floor, right? The ceiling is still the question mark, but the floor has certainly been elevated. I think, Brad, you said it earlier, you can rule that out, I think you can eliminate the fact he's going to be a complete, crap in the bed moment. I just don't think that's happening for Jordan Love, but will we know he's good by week 12, right? You can see excellence. When excellence flashes, you know it. And working with me today, guys, you've been seeing excellence flashing for the last 2.5 hours. You can see it with Jordan Love, hopefully, by week 8, by week 10. And if you don't, then maybe it is, okay, he's fine. He might be a good lifelong backup, but he ain't the guy. That's what I fear, I think, come October or November.
Well, and that's the big question because the money will start to talk, where it's at some point, the window to extend him will continue to close and you need to make a decision. And look what quarterbacks are getting nowadays. I know the cap keeps going up, but what do you think is entry level conversation for a guy like that? I mean, is it Daniel Jones's $40 million a year? Jordan Love making $40+ million a year. He's got to be at least.
That's also my biggest.
He's got to be at least darn good.
Yeah,
to get, a top 12 guy.
Well, the word Rusty was struggling with earlier, right? Mediocrity, and that's what I fear. Is he's just kind of middle of the pack, 16th, 14th best quarterback in the NFL, and that demands a $40 million payday, and you need to commit to him, like the Giants did with Daniel Jones. That's my biggest fear when it comes to Jordan Love. It's Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe and the KBN crew. They launch tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5 on ESPN Wisconsin, 2 to 4 on ESPN Madison, but in Beaver Dam and Milwaukee, you'll get them all 3 hours. Benny, why don't you tell us about your friends?
Yeah, I have to tell you about Herd Hospitality because you may be actually, driving down to Chicago. They do stuff like this, but think about what you have the potential to do when you're driving up to Green Bay. I want to get ahead of this for you because get to and from every home game in Green Bay this season because Milwaukee's Broad House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course all offer transportation on game days. They've got bus services with private restrooms, all-you-can-drink packages. You book your round-trip ride from any of those locations. You get complimentary access to all-you-can-eat, all-you-can-drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way up in Green Bay. So think about that. You have to worry about driving. You have to worry about driving back to and from transportation. You don't have to sit in traffic. You can get on the bus and enjoy a green and gold game like you should. Make your game day experience an experience with Herd Hospitality, your official ride to Green Bay again. Milwaukee Broad House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course. Go check out those websites. You'll find links to the transportation.
That sounds awesome. Ben Bruss, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace, Alex Strofe with you. We're talking a lot about Jordan Love. Maybe you're drunk in love. Hopefully today you're not saying like the Black Eyed Peas once did, where is the love? And rather you're saying what Led Zeppelin once said, which is a whole lot of love. You're seeing a whole lot of love. But nonetheless, it is definitely what Taylor Swift once said, a love story. It is time for This Week in Love on Green Bay Game Day.
I keep on falling in and out of love with you.
We got these deep balls from Jordan Love just kind of popping up every single day. You're talking about poise, control, swag, moxie, and guys.
I never loved someone way that I'm loving you.
I think Jordan Love is ready to rock and roll, and I think he just can't wait to get this game underway so he can take over.
Sometimes I love you.
That kid is going to be really good, and I think quickly. I think Jordan Love, look, he's following in the footsteps of not just one, but 2 legends. I mean, he's following 30 years of first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback play. It's unfair to say anyone is going to be that good, but he's going to be a really good player immediately.
Sometimes you make me blue.
If you don't like the fact that I've watched Jordan Love in practice now for 4 years, and I can say this training camp, he looked good. He looked better than I expected him to be. I still don't think he had 100 wow throws. I'm not here to put exclamation points of joy at the end of my tweets to tell you how great he is. I am encouraged by how he looks. I think he's got a chance. when years ago I was like, oh my God, I don't think this guy's going to be very good at all. I'm willing to allow for the possibility that he's going to be good.
In and out of love with you.
Jordan Love is your quarterback. Jordan Love. Jordan Love is a project quarterback, played 2 games his final year in college against top 25 teams, and all he did is throw interceptions.
Jordan Love is the question. Jordan Love is the question mark.
If the Packers win 8 games this year, I think that says that Jordan Love is doing some really good things.
Jordan Love, when Aaron Rodgers had COVID, Jordan Love had to play against the Chiefs and looked like me out there.
If Jordan Love doesn't stink as a playoff football team.
No, Aaron Rodgers coming off back-to-back MVPs. Nobody traded for Jordan Love because nobody wanted Jordan Love because Jordan Love can't play.
I think they're going to be good. Now, does that mean they're going to the NFC Championship games? Probably not. But do I think they're going to be better than people think? I do. Do I think they're going to win more games than people think? I do. Do I think they're going to be in contention for the NFC North title? I do.
And for the Green Bay Packers to try and they're doing it in some quarters, to try and pull the wool over their savvy fans, wool over the old eyes, it's really embarrassing.
Let's go. This is a new era. We have a 6'4" first-round pick quarterback who was 100% homegrown Packer. Like, this is our guy. Grass-fed, homegrown. We're going to Lambeau South week 1. You better believe it.
This is going to be a predictable disaster with Jordan Love in Green Bay.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
There's only one place in Milwaukee where every day of the year, dreams and reality get together for a great time. Where you can walk in a player and walk out a winner. That place, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. With fantastic dining, gaming, sports betting, a luxurious hotel, and endless ways to win, the excitement never stops. The only thing missing is you. Your win is waiting. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Visit our website to learn more. Must be 21 to enter casino.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. You know, I've played sports my entire life, been hurt a lot of times, but never had been injured until I had to stop doing the sports I enjoyed because my knee flat wouldn't allow it. I visited Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, where they took great care of me. I put my knee in their doctors' capable hands, and now I'm back in the gym, carrying my golf bag, pain-free for 18 holes, and playing tennis as often as I like with no issues. I'd recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin to anyone. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Looking for your next night out? Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what you got going on over there, buddy?
Hey, Gary, there's so much going on here. We've got all your favorite teams on our TVs, more pool tables than you know what to do with, and live local bands playing on Saturdays. Plus, we got bocce leagues all summer long that we're signing teams up for right now. And, of course, our fish fry piled high on Wednesdays and Fridays.
And stop by for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. Check out QClubOfWisconsin.com.
Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, Nitro Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Green Bay Game Day, rolling on live from the Gruber Law Offices. One Call, That's All Studios at the 3rd Street Market Hall, downtown Milwaukee, and the Everlight Solar Studios in Madison. I'm Alex Strofe alongside the crew that'll be filling your ear holes for every weekday
Excuse
afternoon.
me? Oh. Filling the ear holes.
High praise. Filling the ear holes.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that.
Oh, you're into it.
Yeah, what's wrong with filling the ear holes? That's what it is, right?
Kyle's into filling ear holes.
Better way to put that. Yep, thank you.
I keep my thoughts G.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You're filling your AirPods with earwax and KBN. Coming to weekday afternoons tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Benny Brust with me. And Benny, we were talking a little bit off the air. Friday was a great day of radio for ESPN Wisconsin. It was a really good day of radio. Your final edition of Scalzo and Brust had the tears flowing as I was driving a little bit. I think I got more emotional than Greg Scalzo, but that's beside the point. But also, I think the single best moment in the history of radio, I'm talking any platform, any type of radio, happened on Wilde and Tausch on Friday morning. Mark Tauscher, who is just a genius, he's brilliant.
I still can't believe these two yahoos haven't heard it.
And neither did our producer. So Max Meyerson had not heard it either. So we're actually in the minority. So I assume there's many other people out there that have not heard.
So when y'all at work, I just listen to other stuff. Like y'all don't have work to do. I'm sorry, I'm busy working.
I have work to do, but I also pop open Twitter so I can get ready for my show and see what the other fellow shows across ESPN Wisconsin are doing.
My
Kyle.
job
and
requires
I suggest you
me
do
to
the
listen.
same on Monday.
It's an adjustment I have to make. My transition didn't start until today.
All right, well, here we are. The greatest single moment in the history of radio by Mark Gerald Tauscher. Here you are from Friday on Wilde and Tausch.
It's gonna take a little time.
Wow.
And the O-line to get him over.
Oh my God.
You better read the Bears D-line. So he'll be around when the season's over.
Yeah.
I want to know who love is. I want you to show me.
So good.
Get it, Tauschi. Beautiful.
I want to see Goody's kids play.
Yeah.
And give some positivity to Wilde. I want to know what love is. I want him to show me.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
See what love is.
You know,
Hit the high
that
note.
octave.
Whoa. Absolutely brilliant.
So as I'm sitting in my office, and in our offices we have the
speakers playing.
The speakers blasting, and I hear this playing, and I'm just like, somebody singing? Like I don't know, I'm multitasking.
At first, I thought it was a fan.
See, I didn't know what was going on, but I heard it. I said, "What is happening?" But I didn't hear the lyrics or anything he was saying. I was more focused on the task at hand.
Never guessed that is a 11-year NFL veteran right tackle.
No. Packers Hall of Famer.
No. I almost wish I didn't know that was Tauscher from the get-go, and then be like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
I would have never have
It doesn't sound like Tausch, but you would have been able to figure it out with Jason and Jesse
Yeah,
on there.
for sure.
That was some great That was good.
Silky smooth sometimes, huh?
Silky
smooth.
The best line in that is give some positivity to Wilde.
Yes.
That is
So
such.
great. Yes.
You got to read the Bears D line was also so good. The lyricism is brilliant. So yeah, I call that probably the best moment in radio history. I mean, it is just that brilliant by Mark Tauscher, which you can hear, of course, Wilde and Tausch weekdays 9 to noon on these stations. But I just needed you guys to hear that as we are less than an hour away from not the debut, but I'm going to call it the debut of Jordan Love as the man
For sure.
for the Green Bay Packers. QB1. If that doesn't get you ready to run through a brick wall, I'm not sure it will, Brad Nortman.
No, I mean, something like that. They should be just busting that in the locker room right now. Every team has their pregame song kind of thing. Man, they just need that going through. Keep them nice and calm and rhythm.
I was gonna ask you that from a preparation standpoint for a young team, right? Do you think from a nerves and anxious standpoint, you talked about a lot of rookies, you talked about a lot of first, second year guys. The moment is big in week one. Are you thinking a loose, fun locker room where you have a lot of energy, where you can maybe make mistakes? How much is there validity to the you don't want to come out too hot because then you'll make mistakes, but you don't want to come out too quiet because then you're going to get run over.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that the default is when you're nervous is to tighten up and to maybe think too much. So I think these guys are going to be preached to, go play football. You've been doing this your whole life. Mm-hmm. Try to decrease the feeling of the size of the moment. Yep. And I think that's when these guys will play great. And that kind of feeds into the youth movement they have.
For those who didn't pick the Bears, they should get Brad in the locker room because I don't trust Matt LaFleur to deliver the right message. I think you should get out.
Okay. He signed your dang jersey and you're still mad at him.
No, it has nothing to do with the jersey.
What do you mean you don't trust Matt LaFleur? Why not?
He literally got run over by Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. What is
run over's dramatic? Run over's dramatic.
He literally yelled at him and did nothing about it. He was disrespected by his quarterback when he came off the sideline. He just stood there like a little baby. You can't have inmates running the asylum.
It's a great reference there. Yeah. But it is a group effort, right? Like your offense operates differently when Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback versus when a guy like Jordan Love is.
Aaron Rodgers has to be able to have the room to do what he did. I didn't like what he did, but Matt LaFleur, what he's going to do? He's going to yell at Rodgers back, in the middle of the game.
You know what?
I feel like it comes with the territory with Rodgers. You need to take that a little bit.
No, you do. He's a superstar.
Are you watching the Jets? They're bending on their knees, kissing his ass,
and he snapped on him on the second to last episode.
Probably hurt.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do, but if in an 8-9 season where they're struggling and the offense isn't playing well, you have to do something to change what's going on in that locker room, and nothing changed. Bad practice habits, bad timing, bad relationships, bad everything in there, and Matt LaFleur just kind of took it.
Okay. Oh, I don't like the way you're bashing.
What are we doing
here?
We're less than an hour from kickoff. I want a little positivity. We're going to change the lyrics of Mark Tauscher's song to be
I want to know what Matt is without Aaron Rodgers.
Give a little positivity to Benny.
Right?
Yeah, you need it, clearly. Look, Matt LaFleur earned the benefit of the doubt. He's earned it. I understand he has Aaron Rodgers as quarterback his first 4 years as the head coach. I get that, right? And obviously, Aaron Rodgers always elevates no matter who he's with or coached by or whatever, what have you. But Matt LaFleur has proven that he is a good head coach in the NFL, and he earns the benefit of the doubt, in my opinion.
I'm looking at you for this.
That's fine. I thought that's a fair take, but you guys just look at me like I'm some psychopath. Matt LaFleur's done everything right.
No, I think I'm learning you may be a psychopath.
He is.
So Matt LaFleur did a great job on 3rd and goal, kicking a field goal, giving the ball to the greatest of all time.
Aaron Rodgers did a great job of not running the ball when he had a chance. Instead, he threw the ball there against the Buccaneers. Did he do a great job at that?
Yeah, if he knew there was 2 downs, he probably would have took the yards.
And so all I'm saying is this: is that Matt LaFleur is a great coach, as he just mentioned as well. And
I can't say he's a great coach yet. You can say he's a good coach.
Good coach.
I think he's at least good. At least good.
Okay, a good coach. I'm sorry, a good coach. Kyle. And so the guy who said impressive about Jordan Love, and
he was impressive. What are we doing here?
But what now he's got us against each other. But what I'm saying is this: is that when I look at Matt LaFleur, I think we should say that. Again, it was Aaron Rodgers. He's a star quarterback. He has to take that. What, you going to go back and forth with the star quarterback? And then if that happens, you saw what happened to the last coach. He got fired, and he wanted Mike McCarthy fired. It was deserved. But Aaron Rodgers has such control over so many veterans in that locker room is that you do not want to cause any tension with the best player on your team like that, because then Randall Cobb has an attitude, and then David Bakhtiari has an attitude. Then Mercedes Lewis has an attitude. You just don't want to do that. That's not the fight you want to pick. You got to pick your battles, and Aaron Rodgers is not the one you want to battle.
Yeah, see, I disagree. If everything's going south and he had control of that entire season last year, how did that go?
What do you think Rodgers would have responded with if LaFleur came down hard on him?
If you guys are ripping him for not being engaged and not being a leader, try something different to get the best out of your players.
I think it does matter though, Ben. It really does. When you have you think Bud last year was going to rip into Giannis at all ever? No, you don't do that to your star player. Your star player gets away with things. If almost any other player on the Bucs, if Chris Middleton said, "Hey, I don't know if I'm going to sign an extension. They don't do more about me. They don't put more around me," he may get called into the office and say, "Hey, is this the place that you want to be?" But Giannis can get away with saying something like that. I'm just saying.
See, but if that were the case, why isn't he still here? Right? Why isn't Aaron Rodgers still here? If it was the case that they should just do everything he wants, why isn't he still here?
Because they finally made a decision to move on. And that was at the end of the season, not during the season. At the end of the season, they made that decision. But no, I'm not.
I think the writing on the wall kind of happened during the season, to be honest.
And this is why your superstar's personality matters a ton. Because if he's not a guy that can take coaching and not a guy that wants to be a leader, that matters a lot. And maybe you can't have those conversations. You can't allow the coach to be the coach and set the tone and go hard on him.
It's not like it was Bill Belichick getting Tom Brady the way that he did. It was Matt LaFleur already coming to Aaron Rodgers. So Matt LaFleur is the same energy that Robert Saleh is giving to Aaron Rodgers, is the exact same energy that Matt LaFleur gave to him, the exact same energy that Nathaniel Hackett is giving to him. Like, I guarantee you, if he changed the play every single time, Nathaniel Hackett wouldn't say a word to him.
Yeah,
Everybody say, what about that?
Well, guess what? When he was with Nathaniel Hackett, he won 2 MVPs, so probably he'd be okay with it.
0 damn Super Bowls.
Okay, so if you're gonna move it to the Super Bowls, right? And you're talking about your expectations for this year with your loser's mentality of like, it's okay. It's okay if they go 6-11.
I can't sit here.
You're playing both sides
I'm
right
sorry,
now.
I can't
of
call,
the expectations.
I cannot call Bears fans delusional. I cannot call Cowboys fans delusional and sit here and act like my team is going to be a great team. I am not a delusional individual. I am somebody that looks at the glass half
to be
full.
determined.
To be determined.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we'll see.
We are starting a show tomorrow. I have plenty of time.
Mr. wants the Packers to win 13 games this year.
Why would I not want the Packers to win 13 games? I want them to win 20 games.
I would love for them to win every single game, but it's not going to happen.
I never said it's going to happen.
So what are you so upset at me for being realistic?
You're not being realistic. You said it's nice that they don't have high expectations. I don't understand how you find that fun.
Yeah, I think it's not being real. It's not the realistic part of it. It's the fact of where you're setting your expectations and how you said I got sick of losing in January.
I did get sick of losing it. Did those games?
But here's the thing: you have 30 years of not even sniffing
I
January.
get that you don't like it. I understand that, and I agree with that. Of course, I'd rather win in January. But to sit here at week 1 of a new era under Jordan Love, the future Hall of Famer, and say, "Yeah, it's fine. If expectations are 6-11, I'm good with that. It's something different."
Well, what's the worst as a fan? Is it worse to have your hopes build up all year and then lose in a game like that, or is it worse to go through a mediocre season?
Worse to go through a mediocre season every day of the week.
I would agree.
100%.
I think that's where
that's where Kyle's going, and that's the scary part of that. If that's how this ends up being, that's how it could end up being for a longer period of time because you don't have Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And quarterbacks move the needle. Don't give me the examples of Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco or Nick Foles. You need a quarterback.
I agree we need a quarterback, and I'm just saying that emotionally, it was a lot to deal with for so many years to have these great regular seasons and then get to the playoffs and thinking I have a chance every year to legitimately be hurt. I would turn the TV off and would sit in darkness after those playoff games.
You're more like Aaron Rodgers than you think.
Exactly. Only thing I'm missing is ayahuasca. But honestly, like after the game against Seattle, I was hurt.
Yeah, me too.
So all I'm saying is this: is that change sometimes can lead to good things.
Sometimes,
happening.
And there is an element of. We just don't freaking know.
Was this team going to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers this year as the quarterback?
No.
Were we going to win a Super Bowl next year or the year?
Maybe.
More than likely, probably not.
Only one team wins a Super Bowl, so that's fair. Probability is in your favor.
All I'm saying is, at what point can you turn the page? And I'll do paper here. I'll actually turn the page here.
We're on stream, baby.
Why don't you turn the page into what's coming next? And again, we should not expect this team to be great. We should be happy. If they win 10 games, we should be ecstatic. If they win 7 games and they're competing and Jordan Love looks like a legitimate NFL starter, we should be excited. So all I'm saying here is, Trophy,
I agree.
is that love the games, enjoy the games. 2008, I keep going back to it. I was frustrated. I broke my keys that year. We missed field goals.
Excuse me?
I had a moped, and so I was at my parents' house watching the game. And I think it might have been against Minnesota. One of these games, we missed the game, a field goal chance to win the game. Mason Crosby missed the game, and I threw my keys down. I broke my keys. I was upset because we lost that game. But hindsight, that was all part of the process to us eventually becoming a Super Bowl champion. And so I'm just saying, can we just go through the process that they've talked about this year so we can hopefully become a Super Bowl champion?
And this right here is why is why he will be on the air 15 hours a week, filling your ear holes on KBN. He is the loser mentality of Kyle Wallace, the psychopath Ben Brust,
trust the
brilliant mind of Brad Nortman. I'm Alex.
There's one thing I can tell you for sure for Kyle Brust and Nortman starting tomorrow. We are 3 very different people in a great way.
I love it.
I love it too, and I'm excited to listen. 2:00 tomorrow, less than 24 hours away from the debut of Kyle Brust and Nortman, and we are less than almost about a half an hour away from the debut of Jordan Love as the guy. So Tausch says he wants to know who Love is. Benny says he wants to know who Matt LaFleur is.
I want to know who Matt is.
And I'm curious.
Without Aaron Rodgers.
Brad Nortman, who do you want to know who is?
I want to know who Joe Barry is.
That's what I was about to say.
In a new defensive scheme, but it's still the same scheme.
Look at our leader. Go ahead and get him up. Get him hype, boy. Let's
What
go.
are you yelling about?
He's yelling at the pregame on Fox.
I'm looking at Jordan Love. I'm looking at Jay Love. Talk to his boys and get them ready. I'm geeking now.
They're rallying.
We're up there.
It's real now. They got the jerseys and helmets on.
It's real now, baby.
This ain't no preseason game.
Let's go, baby.
No preseason. It's the real thing.
We all
Look
make one call, one prediction. Brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. Coming up next, we're less than a half an hour away, Packers fans. The new era is here. Green Bay Game Day and all the chaos rolls on next.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Get to and from every home game in Green Bay this football season safely. Milwaukee Broad House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course all offer transportation on game days. They've got bus services with private restrooms and all-you-can-drink packages. Book your round-trip ride from any of these locations and get complimentary access to an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way. Make your game day experience a VIP experience with your official ride to Green Bay.
A bank that goes the extra yard? You got it. Show your love for the green and gold with Packers checking only from Associated Bank. Make every transaction a touchdown with your Packers debit MasterCard. And when you use it at the Packers Pro Shop, at the stadium, or online, you'll get 10% off. Associated Bank's Packers checking scores the home field advantage by delivering Midwest-based customer care, outstanding value, and more. Get in the game and learn more today at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
It's Chevy truck season, and with a Chevy Silverado, there's no such thing as an uphill battle. With a Chevy Silverado, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. Because with impressive towing capability, an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen, and a choice of powerful engines to pick from, whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado with the capability you need. Visit WisconsinDriveChevy.com.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com. Here in Wisconsin, a good old-fashioned is an important way of life. And that's where my friends at Perky's Old Fashioned come in. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to tell you about the easiest way to put together an Old Fashioned. Perky's offers both brandy and bourbon Old Fashioned mixes. And get this, the booze is already in there. Just add the soda of your choosing, and you'll have Grandma Perky's Old Fashioned in the palm of your hand. Perky's is locally made and great for get-togethers of all kinds. Get perked up and head to perkysspirits.com for your nearest Perky's location.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta, and I have told you about the delicious pizza and Italian snacks that you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel. But now there's even more to be excited about. The restaurant has added new sandwiches to the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy items like the Red Rock Chicken BLT, the Meatball Hero, and more. Order from the counter at Proof or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's gonna take a little time.
Wow.
And the O-line to get him over.
Oh my God.
You gotta read the Bears D-line.
Is it sad that I've memorized this?
So he'll be around
so when the season's over.
Sing with him. Sing with him. Do you know it all?
I think so.
I wanna know who love is.
Let's go.
I want you to show me. I wanna see through these
Oh, no, wrong.
All right, good try.
It's Green Bay Game Day. Rolling on. Got you for another half an hour as we lead you up to the new era, baby. Jordan Love. You're going to find out who Love is as the Packers take on the Bears week 1 at Soldier Field. 3:25 kickoff on Fox. It's America's Game of the Week because, damn, are there a lot of questions. I'm Alex Strofe alongside the KPN crew, debuting less than 24 hours, closer to 23 hours on ESPN Wisconsin, 2 o'clock tomorrow. Benny Bruss, Bradley Nortman, and Kyle Wallace, the loser mentality of Kyle Wallace.
We're going to stop that.
Do you think that
it's not a loser's mentality? I don't understand
Do you think that there's high expectations for your new radio show? Or are they too high for you? Is that uncomfortable to have a successful show?
First and foremost, if you expect us to win an Emmy day one, yes, high expectations. But Emmy,
is there Emmys for radio?
Yeah, they have Emmys for radio, don't they?
Homer's the Emmy Award winner.
Yeah, we're coming for you.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
coming for you,
but
Emmy.
it takes time.
I thought Emmy was TV.
They have it for both, I guess.
Yep.
Isn't Emmy TV? For radio, too.
He might have been Emmy Award winner on TV. Let's just go with radio.
Okay, fine, whatever.
I have no idea.
Marconi's. We're getting Marconi's.
Well, okay.
There you go. I know what those are.
WBAs, whatever. We're winning a WBA year one. But my whole thing is this, is that, it may take time for
Kyle.
greatness.
It's good to see you change your expectations for us like you don't for the Packers.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very
Strive
good.
for glory.
All right, it is time now to do the Gruber Law Office's one call as we all make our predictions for today's game, Packers-Bears. Time to play Gruber Law Office's one call. Who wants to lead us off? One call, one prediction, one thought on the Packers-Bears game. Brad Nortman, we start with the former NFLer, longtime NFL punter for the Panthers and the Jaguars, the best fake punter of all time in the history of college football at the University of Wisconsin, was defined as an offensive weapon by Kirk Herbstreit, and he is the brilliant mind of Brad Nortman, coming to weekday afternoons 2 to 5. Bradley Nortman, lead us off.
Boy, that intro never gets old, Strophy. Thank you. So
you're welcome.
Don't expect something that nice every time from
Ben,
me.
take note. Take note, would you? Okay, so I've got one prediction that's kind of wrapped up into two. So one is I think the defense actually looks good. I think they make enough adjustments to where you say, okay, this is going to be a strength of the team this year, and the defense will look good, but the Packers will lose because they will lose the turnover battle. I think the offense tries to force too many things. Too many people are out of position. Young wide receivers, young tight ends, a lot of communication and in-rhythm things that have not been developed yet that will create turnovers for the Bears defense. That will be the deciding factor in a Packers loss.
Interesting. That's one call. That's all from Brad Nortman. Benny Brust, one call for today's game, Packers at Bears.
Not enough playmakers on the Packers side. The Bears get it done due to the fact that they have playmakers. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, right? Like it's just like they have too many guys that can make plays in week one in comparison to the Packers right now. No Christian Watson really shrinks the field for this team. This isn't 2005 anymore. You can't just win with the offensive line and A.J. Dillon grounding and pounding. I do think Aaron Jones is obviously going to be heavily involved, but he's not enough to push you over the finish line. Ultimately, this game is going to be decided by who can make plays late, because I don't think it's going to be a pretty game. It's going to be ugly, but just the lack of playmakers on the Green Bay Packers roster for week one. Romeo Doubs on a pitch count. The Bears get it done due to the fact that they have more playmakers, even though I don't think they're a good team either.
All right, me and you, Wallace, we got the negativity out of the way. Me and you, it's 3 o'clock. We got 25 minutes until Jordan Love becomes the new face of the franchise for the Green Bay Packers. Your one call better be positive.
My one call, of course, will be positive. I understand what they're saying. You have guys out. You got a new starting quarterback. You're going down to Chicago to play the Bears. And my thing is this. Last year, the Packers, they hit the ground and they pounded the rock. That's what they kept doing. There's a song. Never mind. I'm not going to do the song because the song might be a little nasty.
Come on.
Come on. All right. Well, I want the Packers to take the Bears to Pound Town today. And I say that because I want them to pound the rock over and over and over and over today. Aaron Jones last Pound Town. Aaron Rodgers had 130. Aaron Jones. This is going to be a struggle. Aaron Jones had 132 yards on the ground last year. Our offensive line this year, I said that is going to be truly the heart and soul of that offense, because how well they play will allow for Jordan Love to stay upright, as he talked about in that song Mark Tauscher did, and also allow for us to get the ground game going. If we can control the line of scrimmage today, the Packers can win this game. Last year they did it. I understand they got some new pieces, but I trust Aaron Jones, I trust A.J. Dillon, I trust Matt LaFleur, and I trust this offensive line to help us get it done. And more importantly, though, I think the defense is improved this year, and I think they will continually get some pressure today on Justin Fields, and the Packers find a way to get this victory 23-10. 23-20.
Okay, good one. You know what the slogan for Gruber Law Office is? It's 7 calls. That's all from Kyle Wallace. Nicely done.
Pound Town, baby. That's what their new slogan should be.
I'm absolutely.
No, honestly, like if that would be good. That would mean they have an identity.
Pound Town.
The Packers are Pound Town.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna find out who they are.
Your identity could be a lot worse.
No.
All right. So the last 2 years, I've had the privilege to host the show ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day on Saturdays. I co-hosted last year with Brad Nortman. And cool. We saw last year in a double overtime game between Michigan State and Wisconsin, a man by the name of Jaden Reed catch both a touchdown and throw a touchdown against the University of Wisconsin. My one call in his NFL regular season debut is Jaden Reed.
Pass.
I almost went there, but I'm not going to go that bold. I will say, though, 75 yards receiving in his first career touchdown today against the Chicago Bears. Their defensive backs, okay.
Wait a minute. They have 70 catches in a year?
Well, that's Luke Musgrave. Let's Luke Musgrave. He's going to have all those today also. Musgrave, 800-yard game today.
Strofe has Jaden Reed at 100 catches. We got
somebody's
Luke
got to catch the ball.
1,500 yards.
What? Okay, now that's too much. But look, why are we acting like Jordan Love isn't going to throw for over 3,000 yards this year? Somebody's got to catch the football.
Yeah.
And I understand there's no Devontae Adams, there's no Randall Cobb, there's no Alan Lazard. Somebody has to catch the football. Luke Musgrave, Christian Watson when he's healthy, Romeo Dobbs, right. But Jaden Reed's a nice little fun piece. Luke Musgrave is a fun piece.
Yeah, no, I think you're forgetting the fact that they're going to check down. They're going to give the ball a lot to Aaron Jones, just throwing him the ball.
That's fine.
And so,
but he's not going to have 1,000 receiving yards.
He's not going to have 1,000 receiving yards. But I mean, saying that this rookie tight end is going to have 70 catches and 1,000 receiving yards is.
I didn't say 1,000. I said 700.
Okay, my bad. That's high expectation. But I do like your pick with Jaden Reed. I think Jaden Reed. Talk about sleepers. I really think Jaden Reed has an opportunity to really pop today because he is a really good weapon.
I like him in the slot. He is so shifty and fast, and a good slot receiver, man, that can be a matchup nightmare.
The hard part about what he's going up against today, though, is no Christian Watson to help open up the middle of the field.
Correct, and that's a super big piece with Watson.
Yep, going back to the major pain point of losing Watson today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe, Ben Bruss, Brad Nortman, Kyle Wallace with you for about 20 more minutes. That's one call. That's all brought to you by Gruber Law Offices, which has a reputation for winning, like the Packers are going to do today. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There is never a fee until your case is won. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people in the state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. We wrap up the show.
20 more minutes, folks.
Final thoughts, final observations, and our final predictions and hypotheses after an offseason. Hypotheses?
It's hypotheses.
Doesn't matter. I like Strofes.
Thanks, Benny. That's what you're here for. 20 more minutes until we get to see Jordan Love live in the flesh. Here we go. Coming up next. Last thoughts. Next. It's Green Bay Game Day. Let's go!
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit SummitEyeWI.com.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. At GMB, we give back by supporting local nonprofits, such as the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter. Did you know that the local professionals who work at banks are often some of the first people to recognize early signs of Alzheimer's and other dementia in their customers? This can include a customer appearing lost or confused, or showing unusual behaviors with their accounts. At Great Midwest Bank, we take our community responsibilities seriously. We're proud to be a dementia-friendly bank with training from the Waukesha Aging and Disability Resource Center. If we notice potential signs of dementia during a customer visit, we connect with customers and their loved ones. This fall, you can make a difference too. Sign up for the Walk to End Alzheimer's at alz.org/walk. Visit GreatMidwestBank.com to learn more about GMB's commitment to community and our Simply Giving mission.
What advice would you give somebody that that's window shopping?
I'd have to say Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin plays at an MVP level in the replacement game. They came in ahead of time, measured all the windows, make sure they had all of the measurements. When the Pella people left, you had no idea they had been here. You just had the new window. They're great professionals, Gina, and some of the best in the world at what they do.
Right now, pay as low as $19 a month per window or $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today. Pella's team of expert installers start with an in-home consultation and finish with no hassle or mess, leaving nothing but perfect results that stand the test of time. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, pay as low as $19 per window and $75 per month on patio doors. Visit PellaWI.com today.
$6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers end 9/30/2023.
The next disaster is coming. Make a plan. Keep extra medication on hand. Make copies of important documents. Stay informed and be ready. Learn more at americares.org/sendusin.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Wrap it up, Green Bay Game Day, week number 1. It's here. I'm jumping up and down. I'm so damn excited. It's football season, baby. We've been watching the games on the noon slate as the Falcons beat the Panthers 24-10. I mean, look, I'm so thrilled. I'm so ecstatic. I'm so excited. I'm so amped up. It's the Jordan Love era. It's a new era. It's here. It has finally arrived. All the waiting, all the drama is over. We are here. We are just about 15 minutes from kickoff at Soldier Field in Chicago as the Bears play host to the Packers here in week number 1. It's Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe, Brad Nortman, Ben Brust, and Kyle Wallace with you from the Gruber Law Offices, One Call That's All Studios at the 3rd Street Market Hall, downtown Milwaukee. Colin Russo helping us out at the Everlight Solar Studio, downtown Madison. Fellas, is my energy... What are you doing over there, Brad?
I found this thing on the table. I don't know what this is. I mean, I feel bad for our
it goes
radio
underneath.
audience.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
I mean, I know I'm new to all the studio stuff, but I don't know.
You didn't want to
it
break
looks like
something?
a small anchor of some kind who's just sitting there. So, I mean, we're all working through the kinks. It's week 1.
Yeah, you're absolutely
week
right.
1.
Well, speaking of working through the kinks, Jordan Love, what's the expectations? Let's make our final kind of thoughts and predictions on Jordan Love. I know a few of you made your score prediction before, but I'm curious on Jordan Love specifically. What do you need to see today to say, hey, man, that's a success? He looks the part, like Ben Brust just said about Anthony Richardson in the break.
Yeah, it's like almost an impossible question because of the way that the roster set up for week 1 right now. A limited Romeo Doubs, a Christian Watson that's out, a rookie tight end group of Musgrave and Kraft, and you haven't heard a lot about Kraft. Jaden Reed, Malik Heath are going to be getting a lot of time from wide receiver position. So what I'm looking for is just limiting mistakes because he's not going to be able to win week 1. And when I'm not even talking about the game, I'm talking about Jordan Love and becoming the guy for the Packers long term. He can't win becoming the guy week 1. I guess he could if he throws for 350 or 300 somehow with the rag tags that he's got out there. I don't mean that in a degrading way. It's just a lot of...
It sounded a little degrading.
Yeah, it's a little degrading. A lot of young guys out there. If he has an unbelievable game, sure, we'll obviously be thrilled about that. But his key should just be take care of the football, make the right reads. Honestly, it's as much as I was critical about talking about preseason, just showing that same sort of development now with pressure and different looks on defense. Just continue to show that you are showing that you can be a quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Those are good points, Ben. And I agree. I think one of the things that Aaron Rodgers did so well throughout his time here was limiting interceptions. And that is something that, look, you have a very, very hard time to win football games if you're throwing interceptions and you're consistently putting your defense in bad positions. So to me, limit turnovers. Don't make big mistakes. When adversity hits, because it's going to hit, because you don't have a whole lot of horsepower on offense and you're facing a Bears defense that's going to probably scheme and come at you pretty hard, I want to see Jordan Love respond. It's hard to exactly put a qualifier on that,
like
what
how
that
many
looks
yards, touchdowns. You just it's just
I'll know it when I see it, right? When I see it, I want to see him
like
respond with positivity. The eye test. And he's going to face adversity. What does he look like after adversity happens? If he can respond well, stay poised, respond, continue to play well, I'll see what I need to see week 1.
I'm with you on that. Comfortability was the big word. I know Rob Domofsky used it earlier. I used it when talking about the preseason, outside of when I was using the word impressive that you guys were dogging me about. But yeah, comfortability and poise is so important, especially in week 1, because there's got to be some jitters, right? There's got to be the butterflies a little bit, as he knows, this is my team now. This is my time to shine now. And if I don't, I probably won't get another opportunity. So this is really big for Jordan Love, Kyle.
And you said comfortability. That's the C word. And I'm going to continue to hit with some C words with I want to see command, I want to see control, and I want to see creativity. As a Packers fan, my entire life, something that we saw quarterbacks that were creative and guys that were passionate, and they were out there playing football, having fun doing it, slinging the ball around. So what I want to see is Jordan Love, of course, he looked a little robotic in preseason, but I want him to kind of let loose a little bit. It seems like every time he's had an opportunity, he's just been trying to play within the system, hit the read, do what he's supposed to do. I want to see him kind of loosen up, take some shots, smile a little bit, shake it off, get up, do a little first down, but I want to see that passion and that love for football to let me know that he's just out there mindlessly playing the game and doing what he does best, which is love to play football. And so that's what I want to see, because been a lot of pressure when he came in against Kansas City. He came against Philadelphia, a lot of pressure. Preseason, a lot of pressure. Just let it loose, have fun, be in control, and be passionate about what you're doing. That's what I want to see.
And I think that those are really great points, but you know who's going to be the most critical cog to that? Matt LaFleur, and what schemes and plays they put in to help make this offense have some explosive plays. They're going to like the first play of the game last year, obviously they went deep to Watson. That's not available. How are they going to do that with the limitations down the field? Is it going to be a Jaden Reed pass, as we were joking around that he threw a pass from Michigan State last year? Like, what are those trickeries? Is Keyshawn Nixon going to get involved in the offense? What are we not expecting that Matt LaFleur put in?
Hold on. Can we time out right there? Keyshawn Nixon getting involved with the offense is actually brilliant.
No, that's something that you'll probably see him moving in motion. Him and Jaden Reed doing something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to be talking about this all year on KBN, but what is Matt LaFleur doing to put himself in the conversation with, Shanahan, McVay, guys that have proven they don't need a Hall of Fame quarterback to go have success? I know that, McVay won the Super Bowl with Stafford, but also got to one with Goff. So those guys do enough everywhere else to cover up the quarterback position. Can Matt LaFleur do the same?
Shanahan's certainly looking like maybe Brock Purdy is the guy that gets him back to the Super Bowl, as 49ers beat the Steelers today 30-7. Other finals, Vikings are 0-1. They lose to the Buccaneers, led by Baker Mayfield, the final of 20-17. Browns over the Bengals in a spanking 24-3. The Browns are 1-0. Commanders beat the Cardinals on a late comeback. They score 10 points in the fourth quarter to win 20-16. And a big fourth quarter for the Falcons as well. They scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to beat the rival Panthers. Sorry, Brad, 24-10. Other scores still going on. Jaguars, Colts in the final minute. Jags lead 31-21. Saints up on the Titans in the 2-minute warning. 16-15 the score there, and Ravens up big on the Texans 25-9 as that game coming to an end. KBN debuts tomorrow with these 3 clowns: Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, and Ben Brust. You can hear them 2 to 5 on ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Beaver Dam, 2 to 4 on ESPN Madison. Rutledge and Hamilton making the move to 4 to 6 on the ESPN Madison lineup, and the Homer Hour.
Look at it
with Steve the Homer True from 5 to 6.
It's on the TV.
We've made it.
Oh, my gosh.
We've made it. It is
Bears,
incredibly
Packers.
exciting. Incredibly exciting. Real quick, guys, I know Brad and Ben, you both picked the Bears. Just recap for us your score prediction.
Yeah, I got 23-20, and ironically, it's a missed extra point from Anders. I think.
Oh.
Yeah. I just
hate
had to do it.
It's not
hate on the boy. Dang.
Because he's given me reason to doubt that he can do things from a consistent manner. I know he played well in preseason and in his last game, but all through camp, it's been a question mark. And
practice. We talking about practice, not a game.
Yeah, but we are absolutely talking about that, because I was at practice and he kicked one into the wind, and we literally talked to Nick Folk, who is no longer on the Patriots, and we saw the Patriots players, we were like, Nick, how was the wind out there? Was it a big deal? He goes, No, and he winked like he was kind of taking a jab. And as a specialist, right? Like he was like, it was no problem for him.
The veteran wink.
Yeah, and so it was like, it's something to be curious about, especially when talking about winning football games, right? They didn't sign Mason Crosby. They're running with all these young guys, and he could be somebody that helps them win games and lose games for good or for bad. They're running with him.
Bradley Nortman?
I've got 24-20 Chicago Bears. And I think it's going to be a little sloppy.
Way, just real quick, I agree in the sloppiness. It's just the playmakers again. There's more playmakers on the other side.
You're right.
Their offensive line isn't as good as the Packers. Their defensive line isn't as good. But ultimately, it's going to be a sloppy game, likely. And so you're going to need guys to make plays. DJ Moore, they have. Justin Fields with his legs can hurt you.
But the game will always be won or lost in the trenches. But now more than ever, playmakers matter. And it is unimaginably young and inexperienced, the team they're throwing out there. And hey, maybe that leads for future success, like Kyle, you're talking about. Maybe you grow into it. But the way to get there is going to be a little bit painful because I can't even put into context how young this team is. So go get them, Tigers.
They're very young. Mr. Wallace, the sophisticated Mr. Wallace. I know you're going with the Pack.
I already said I'm going with the Packers 23-20 just because of the fact that I believe in what we're cooking up here and I don't believe in the Bears. We'll find out what happens after today. But what I believe is that, again, the run game is going to be something that we're going to lean on, and the Packers are going to find a way to go down to Chicago and make those fans feel terrible about themselves because now they're looking at, as you said, a Hall of Fame quarterback in Jordan Love. So I'm have high hopes today for 23-20 Packers.
Best news is all the noon games are done. Like all the focus is going to be on the game of the week.
It's go
on
time,
Fox,
baby.
Bears Packers.
Bring it.
I'll take the Packers in a win, but I think we can all agree sloppy, low scoring game. I'll take the Packers 17-10. I think Jordan Love throws 2 touchdown passes, one to Jaden Reed, one to Luke Musgrave because he's got
you are high on this defense and you love Luke Musgrave.
Hey, man, I've said it for the last 3.5 hours. I think this defense is going to bounce back after a really embarrassing start to the year. Last year, really embarrassing first 3 quarters of the season last year. They're changing some things up. I think DJ Moore will be quieted by one of the best cornerbacks in football, Jair Alexander. I think he's going to bring it today, and that team is fired up on the defensive side of the ball. I'm excited to see it. I know you're excited to see it, and we are excited to see you guys tomorrow. KBN comes to your airwaves, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, 2 to 5 on ESPN Milwaukee, 2 to 4 on ESPN Madison. But you get football reaction before KBN. Green Bay game night with Steve the Homer True, Gabe Neitzel, Mark Tauscher, and Jason Wilde comes to your airwaves immediately following the final whistle right here on ESPN Wisconsin, also on 620 WTMJ tonight. Let's go, Pack. Brad, Ben, you're both traitors, but I will be listening to you tomorrow.
I picked Washington State yesterday. I got called a troll, and then I was right there.
You were right there. That was a horrible game yesterday. Hopefully a little bit better. On America's Game of the Week on Fox, coming up, kickoff in 5 minutes. The Jordan Love era is here, Packers fans. You've made it. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you next week. This has been Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin.
Is extending Labor Day savings to bring you employee pricing all month long. Save big and pay like you're part of the team. Ewald can't be beat on price, guaranteed. We're passing huge Ewald employee savings on over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. Go long with Ewald's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. You've worked hard this season. Get the savings you deserve today.
Go to EwaldAuto.com.
The Bog in Saukville is Ozaukee County's best golf